We roll?
Yes, alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new edition of the Raj and Rich Show. I'm Raj.
And I'm Rich!
He wishes.
I do.
So, we do have
We'd have a much better studio.
Yes, we do. So, we do have a lot to actually cover in this edition of R&R.
We do.
Because a lot has happened, if you want to go ahead and handle that.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and turn my ringer down. The notifications are going to go psycho from here on out.
Yes, they are. Because it's going to be ridiculous. Because we actually added a new form of contact for the Raj and Rich Show. We actually now have a Twitter handle.
We do. And you go to Twitter at Raj and Rich Show.
Yes.
There you go.
Raj and Rich Show.
Very imaginative.
Yes.
Very
but
nice.
hey, it gets the point across.
It does.
It really does.
So there you go.
Yeah. So before we go ahead and get into the big topic that we're actually going to go ahead and get into, we're going to cover a couple of AmGuard things which we have not covered in quite a while.
No, and we're really only covering two things. Because something was clarified for us
Yes.
today, so that way we're only going to be covering two AmGuard items, and that's it. So
Yes.
all right, so let's roll with the first one. Unfortunately, the AmGuard world lost one of its own this week. Cellric Stradlin passed away.
Yes.
Due to complications from a heart attack, and also pulmonary edema. Which is a fluid buildup in the lungs.
Yes.
He was undergoing tests at the hospital and unfortunately suffered, from what I understand, another heart attack.
Oh, man.
And it ended up taking his life. So it's really sad because regardless of everything that went on, Cellric was still my friend. He was still a lot of people's friends. And it's unfortunate that we lost him. But so be it, his life. You know, it's one of the things you have to learn as you get older in life, that you lose friends.
This is very true.
And so, you know, to my buddy up there, I'm pretty sure he's watching the show tonight. We miss you, and we'll see you on the other side. Now, that being said, that moves us on to our next point, which is the shenanigans in the Emerald Hills. Which the shenanigans in the Emerald Hills, somebody posted up on the Emerald Hills page letting everybody know that Cellric had passed away. Well, they immediately deleted the post. And then people got upset about that. And they tried to state that it was because it was against the ROP. Which I read the ROP front and back multiple times again after this happened. It's not in the ROP. There's nowhere in the ROP. ROP doesn't govern social media. The individual kingdom Kaporas do. And if your kingdom's Kapora has guidelines for social media, and if it states that you can't discuss banned players or anything like that on your social media page, then that's fine. Except I read Emerald Hills' Kapora, and it doesn't state you can't talk about a banned player on the page. And the monarchy posted that, well, it's a violation of the rules. No, it's not. Unless you made up the rule on the fly, and you had the right to do so, which I couldn't find that in the Emerald Hills Kapora either. It wasn't in the rules. Okay, so the Kingdom of the Emerald Hills decided to take a big cop out and run something on the fly.
Quit doing stupid shit.
Okay, so you guys, you can't make up rules on the fly just because it doesn't suit, because you don't have a rule in place that prevents something from happening. You can't. That's how you find out you need a rule. Is shit happens that you didn't want to happen, but you don't have a rule about it, so you gotta make a rule to cover it. But you know, I think there's maybe only one or two kingdoms that have it in their Kapora that once a person is banned, not only can they not be involved in the social media page, but only the monarchy is allowed to bring up any discussion concerning them in the on the Facebook page. And it's only two of them, and the H ain't one of them. So, because I know CK isn't one of them either. So there you go. So you make crap up on the fly. How you doing, Kate? You know, you make up things on the fly, and it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, and which it has, because a lot of people are pissed off in that kingdom right now because of it. And by the way, folks, if you're listening at home, get into the chat room right now. We've got Super Dave and we've got Catherine in the chat room, and we're saying hi to you. So, you know, you can't just make crap up on the fly because something happened that you don't like. We've got rules in place for a reason, and if your rules don't cover it, then guess what? Have an all thing, do a vote, and change your rules. Or add a rule to it saying, hey, once a player's banned, you can't talk about them on your Facebook page at all.
Be political. Don't try to be fucking communist.
Yeah, because it's dumb. You just, oh, well, I don't like that person, so we're just going to remove their posts.
Oh, look.
Because that's what it looks like.
I have this big shiny thing on the top of my fucking head. I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's
Exactly.
how this shit fucking works.
Exactly. And it doesn't work that way. So, and so I'm sorry, but not sorry. Okay? You guys messed up. And a lot of people in your kingdom are upset because things got removed arbitrarily, and then you tried to quote the rules, and then when somebody called you on it, then you got even more mad, and then you deleted that post, and then you put up another post, which is huge and long-winded explanation. You could have just simply posted, look, we removed it due to the fact that due to the current situations and the nature of what it is and everything else, we've decided that we're taking this down. If you guys want to discuss his passing, you can do it amongst your own on your own pages.
Have some coof.
It could have been a paragraph. Instead, it's the thing, like, looking at it, when you're looking at your screen, right? Literally the thread, just the post, not even the comments, went the whole length. Well, if you look on the screen, I'm covering the screen.
Oh.
Okay. It went as soon as you opened up the post, his post went the whole length of the screen. We all know Amp-Garder's attention span's about the size of a gnat. After about a second paragraph, people are starting to tune out. Yeah. So they missed 3/4 of your message anyway.
Yes.
So anyhow, that's all I really want to say about that. I don't want to go into it more because it still hurts. You know, knowing that a friend of mine is gone like that. I've had to say goodbye to way too damn many of them this year. Or not this year, but I mean in the last 5 years, I've lost way too many friends in this game. And not because I've been kicked out, but because life came to an end.
Like he pointed at me.
What's that?
Like he went like this and pointed right at me.
You know. Well, not you. Okay, so they went that way. They exited stage left, and not because the way we wanted them to. Okay. We'd rather if you're going to leave the game, we'd rather, yeah, I'm retiring now. I'll see you all later. You know, bye. That would be cool. Not the ultimate way to quit the game, which nobody wants that. So let's
moving on.
Let's move on out of that world and let's move on to the next world.
Well, technically it's still the same world, but
oh well, wait a minute. Yeah, I almost completely forgot about us. So, folks in the Amp-Garder world that are still tuning in, that we haven't caused you to already fall asleep because, like I said, we have the attention span of a gnat. Blackwater Outpost will be opening here soon. In fact, the contract is already printed out. We just got to on Monday go to a notary to get it signed off, and then we're going to scan it and email it off. So if anybody is going to be in the South Mississippi area, or if you know anybody that's an Amp-Garder that's in the South Mississippi area, have them get in contact with us. We're going to be starting up next Sunday.
Yes, talk to that guy.
We hope. As long as they come back and approve it right now, they don't have...
Oh, but next Sunday is solo.
Dude, we're not going to start until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Get a morning show.
Yeah.
And it will just go in garb.
Yeah, just like how we're going to go see Deadpool tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go see Deadpool tomorrow, too. So, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Keep it up on the new movies. But, yeah, so Blackwater Outpost in Gulfport, Mississippi at Jones Park will be starting up here very, very soon. So, yay, Jones Park. And it's right next to the beach, too. I mean, quite literally, you cross the parking lot, you're in the sand.
Throw away.
It literally is. You cross the road leading into the parking lot, and you're on the beach.
And for those Pokemon Go players, there's a shit ton of Pokestops and gyms right there. So, it's all good.
Yeah, come on down. You know, do your Pokemon, some wacky bats, and have a good time.
Yes.
It'll be a blast.
All right, so
now we move into the mundane world.
Yes, now we're moving into the mundane world, and
you do realize when our special guest arrives, we're going to have to move.
Yes, we will have to move, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, okay.
Unless, of course, we have our guests stand or sit right in the middle of us.
Well, and that's very possible we could do that too, but in order to get the scope of it, though,
yeah,
we'll have to move back for a minute.
That's very true because we do have a special guest tonight.
We do, all the way from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes. All right, so.
Liberals going to be mad, let me tell you.
So this first story that we're going to hit is exactly the biggest story that we are going to cover tonight. We're going to take the most time on this because there's so much going on.
Yes.
And it has to do...
Hold on, and let me tell you the story. Breaking news. Absolutely breaking news. Okay. Denny's is no longer doing the children eat free on Tuesday nights. Okay, that's the big story for tonight, okay? It is.
Seriously? They're not doing it anymore?
No, I'm kidding. I just
they
made
moved
that
it
shit
to
up.
Wednesdays.
No, I just made that shit up. Okay?
Oh, okay.
No, of course.
Well, shit.
I'm trying to at least inject a little bit of levity in this in everybody, because here's the deal. Okay, if you turn on the news right now, you're only seeing two things.
Yes.
Only two things.
The first one is the royal wedding.
Yeah, who cares?
Nah, I don't.
I don't.
It's.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I was living in England, then I'd give a damn. I don't. And I'm not marrying anybody in the royal family, so I don't
I'm never
know.
getting married, so it's all good.
I heard though 90% of the people watching it online are women. Not saying anything against women. I know a lot of women give no fucks about the royal wedding thing. I don't.
All right, so, but the second thing that you're going to find when you tune onto the TV is our next topic.
And our big topic of the night, which is the
Santa Fe high school shooting, which happened in Texas yesterday.
Yes. Just outside of Houston, Texas, is where the Santa Fe High School is. Yes, Catherine's letting us know that she does not care about the royal wedding. So anyway,
are you sure, or is that her saying that she is watching the royal wedding?
She's watching us. So how's she watching a royal wedding? Well, the royal wedding is over.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're still watching, that means you're watching them get it on. Let's get it on. I don't want to watch that. Because you probably have to pay for it. I don't pay for that kind of stuff. I'm free.
Anyways, moving on.
Yes. So, all right. So let's do the rundown of the facts of the situation. A kid. We should have put the kid's name up. Now we look like idiots.
Yes, it's all good. But he's Greek.
We don't have a graphic for it though, do we?
We do, which we'll be showing soon.
Oh, okay. So anyway, kid walked into the Santa Fe high school in a trench coat, and some people were wondering why that didn't seem kind of odd, and I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, walked in with a trench coat on, had a sawed-off shotgun and a .38 revolver and ammunition and a couple of explosive devices hidden in his trench coat. Walked in. And where he officially started shooting, I don't think they did state where he officially began shooting.
It was the only place where he did shoot.
The art class.
The art class.
Okay. All right, so he went into the art class and shot up the place.
Yes.
Okay, we don't need to get into any details whether or not there was a discussion had or anything else. Okay. Killed 10.
Injured 10 others.
Injured 10 others, so 20 total. Okay. One of the injured, of course, or one of the killed was a resource officer. He's in critical still. He's still in critical condition. Okay. Was a resource officer who went to intervene and was shot for his efforts.
Yes.
Unlike the one in Parkland, Florida, who ended up getting to retire with a full freaking pension for hiding in the bushes. So anyway, sorry, it's just that's a sore subject with me right now, and I've got a lot of people that disagree with me on that one. And then he surrendered. Didn't put up a fight. He did state in his statement to law enforcement that his intention, he said multiple times, he went in there with the intent to kill.
And commit suicide.
And then commit suicide, however he chickened out when he committed suicide. Okay, then it was over. Okay.
And the rundown of it was that he was letting go people who he liked. So he wasn't just shooting everything that moved. There was certain people where he goes, oh, I like you, you keep going. And it was so that way somebody had was able to tell his side of the story.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah.
So right now he's facing
10 capital murder.
Yeah, 10 counts of capital murder.
Premeditated capital murder, because he stated when he woke up that morning he had every intention to go to the school and kill people.
Yes.
So they have got him for premeditated capital murder.
Yes.
10 counts, which he's being tried as an adult because he was booked into the jail. Not juvenile hall, not the juvenile detention facility.
County jail.
He was booked into the county jail, which means they are trying him as an adult. Which means, more than likely, I know Texas. You know Texas. He's getting the death penalty. Now I'm pretty sure that you know the bad part about it is this is where the liberals get kind of funny on this. The liberals are all screaming bloody murder that, you know, oh my God, this needs to be stopped and he's such a monster and everything else. But the moment they announce that they're going to try for the death penalty on a 17-year-old, they're going to start crying. They're going to start crying to the ceilings that, oh, he's a child and we shouldn't sentence a child to the death penalty. Yep. He's not a child. He made a conscious decision that morning when he woke up that today was the day that he was going to go kill people. And he killed 10 of them.
He knew exactly
and he injured 10 more. He knew what he was doing. And that's why he's going to get tried as an adult.
So, we know the facts now, that the 17-year-old...
And I will say that my comment about the liberals is purely opinion. It's not fact-based.
Correct. So, the facts are that 17-year-old, which nobody even thought that he was able to do this, or that he would do this, because a lot of people who went to his church, because he went to a Greek Orthodox church... Mm-hmm. You know, they're all like, yeah, you know, we knew him because, you know, he was dancing, you know, he'd do traditional dances, like they do in the churches and everything like that. You know, he was a good kid, you know, very quiet.
Some of the students they talked to said that he was a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was on a roll freshman year.
Yeah.
He was also on the junior varsity football team freshman year.
Yes. He did not make the cut. He did not make the cut the following year.
Yeah, the following year or anything like that.
Which that didn't lead to this.
No, it didn't. You know, because
for all of those people who everybody gets a trophy, that's not what led to this.
No. You know, and they're like, you know, yeah, he was a quiet loner who played football. Mm-hmm. That's what they knew him as. You know, he was quiet, but he was nice. You know,
and not a small kid either.
No, he wasn't
not a small kid. So in Texas terms, he's a football player.
Exactly.
Because I mean, and if you don't live in Texas, okay, just trust us when we tell you this. That big boys play football in the state of Texas. Okay, that's what they do. They play the big boys. They go play football.
They play football real good.
Yeah, I mean, in Texas, there's God, there's your family, and then there's football. Okay, that's how it goes. Because girls are second. Or girls come in fourth in the state of Texas. But
no, fifth because beer is fourth.
No, not for high school kids.
Oh yeah, no,
we can't say that.
No,
we're not advocating minors drinking.
No.
But the thing is this kid, I'm having a hard time trying to determine, you know, what could have caused this. I know that there's all kinds of speculation out there what caused this. Even I'm having a hard time trying to, because even the breakdown of the description of the trench coat he was wearing.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me get to you why some people don't find this, why some people didn't find it strange he was wearing a trench coat when it was 90 degrees outside. Okay. First of all, he wore a trench coat
majority of the time.
Majority of the time. So it's a normal attire for him. Okay. Second thing, I've been in that state when the wind has blown and it's 90 degrees. And I've seen people put on jackets.
Yes.
When the wind was blowing on a 90-degree day.
I've done it.
Okay. I don't. I wear shorts year-round. If it's 20 degrees or warmer, I'm wearing shorts. You know, but I grew up in the East Coast, you know, where we got snow and brutal freaking winter. So for me, it doesn't get too cold. You know, unless it gets below 20. Then I'm like, okay, it's cold now. So that's another thing. Okay, so that those are two things, but the breakdown of the description, the pins that he had attached to his jacket. Now, of course, the media is focusing on two of them.
Two of them.
Okay.
No, three of them.
Well, three.
They're focusing on three of them.
On the jacket.
On the trench coat.
Okay. Well, I know about the Iron Cross.
Yeah, one was an Iron Cross.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's get something cleared up real quick. The Iron Cross is not a symbol directly associated to the Nazis. The Iron Cross has been a symbol in multiple countries, not just Germany, but Germany was flying it on their equipment and flags well before the Nazis came to power. Okay,
yes.
So by saying that somebody wearing an Iron Cross is a Nazi, okay, well, one of my pieces of garb actually is an Iron Cross that has skulls in it. Never once showed up on Nazi memorabilia.
Nope.
Okay. So to sit there and say, oh, an Iron Cross means, okay, then fine. Guess what? All of you people that support Orange County choppers, evidently you support the Nazis if we're going to say that the Iron Cross is a Nazi symbol, because Orange County choppers, in the center of their logo is an Iron Cross.
Yes.
Okay, let's stop and why don't somebody do some Googling and find out how many places Iron Crosses are on that people actually support. Yes. So then you're going to sit there and say that, oh, well, you know, that symbol is Nazism? No, that symbol's in a lot of places. And it has nothing to do with Nazis. Nope. You know, I know people that have an Iron Crosses tattooed to them. Not because they are Nazis.
It's a symbol.
Because they like the symbol, and when it's done right in a tattoo, in a 3D imaging, it looks really badass. Okay? So having an Iron Cross on your attire does not make you a Nazi sympathizer or supporter. Okay, the other one was the...
Baphomet.
Okay, which for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it's a mixture of a head of a stag and a goat with big horns.
Yes.
In the pagan religion and some of the Norse religions, that symbol also has the antlers. Mm-hmm. It has the antlers coming off of it. It doesn't mean that you're a Satanist. Okay? And people jump on symbols and think symbols are exactly what they want it to mean. Okay? What was the other symbol that you were talking about?
It was a red star with a hammer and sickle.
Okay, well, unfortunately, yes, that kind of does associate with communism.
And there was also a fourth pin on there, which was actually a pocket watch, which had Cthulhu head on it.
Which means he was Norse.
They tried to spin it.
And the thing is this kid was a mixed up ball of emotions, because here's the problem. Another photo that's circulating around is saying that he's a Nazi and and everything else. He has an image of the LGBTQ heart.
Wait a second. I think we're about to introduce something new to the show.
Let's show him. Take a look at this image, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? First of all, let's read what it says. This is 17-year-old Demetrius Pagorsis. Today he shot and killed 8 people, 10. And this picture came out after they confirmed 10. So yes. That tells you how bad they were at saying this. At Santa Fe High School. He is not a Muslim. He's not in ISIS. He is yet another homegrown terrorist whose Facebook page is all about guns and supporting Nazis. America, we have a serious problem that a wall won't fix. Hold on, don't make it go away yet.
Yeah.
So, ladies, move the... Well, they won't see the mouse cursor, will they?
No.
Okay. Okay, first of all, let's focus on the page on the picture on the bottom first. All right, let's focus on the picture on the bottom. Okay, you have a knife, you have a flashlight, and you have what appears to be a handgun. Okay? Now, understand that given in a situation when you have to make a decision on whether or not that's a real gun or not, do you fire at the person when you have a real gun? Well, you would. However, what is underneath there, that is not an actual semi-automatic pistol.
Nope, it's a pellet gun.
That's an airsoft gun. Okay? It's the exact same one that I had, and a couple other of my friends that played airsoft had. Exact same one. Okay? Well, as soon as I saw the picture, I'm like, damn, I used to have that. Let's focus on the picture on the top. Okay? Here we have a white male who looks kind of happy in the photo, hat on backwards, with the LGBTQ community heart pin on his hat. You can go ahead and take it down now.
Yeah, but they're saying that he's a Nazi.
He's a Nazi sympathizer with an LGBTQ heart pin on his hat.
That makes no fucking sense.
No sense whatsoever, because if you're a Nazi... If you want to be a Nazi, or you support the Nazis, or if you're a Nazi sympathizer, you wouldn't even have that pin in your possession.
No.
What I'm thinking is this kid was completely and totally confused.
Yes.
For the brief moment that his Facebook page was up, Facebook's locked it out now.
Yes.
Which good for them. It had links to guns. That was
his Twitter accounts.
Well, no, on his Facebook page, he did have links from gun manufacturing Facebook pages.
Okay.
There was a couple on there from Ruger. Okay. There was a couple. There was okay. So what? I have guns on my Facebook page too. Okay, so that doesn't mean shit. They're trying to say that if you like guns, you're going to go kill people or you're a Nazi. Okay, you just said that over 200 million people in the United States of America, because they like guns or have a gun, I guess, are Nazis. I just reading that picture that went up immediately. This went up not even 12 hours after the incident.
Not even 12.
Okay, he hadn't even been arraigned yet in the jail, and that was they were already trying to spin this.
And what's funny is that if you actually looked at the bottom of that post that was up there,
then they related it to the Mexicans, the wall.
Did you notice? You viewers out there, did you notice exactly who put that thing up?
Oh, that was Occupy Democrats.
Occupy Democrats.
If you go on their page, dude, oh my God, it's insane.
They had the craziest shit on there. It's all conspiracy theories.
It is. Every bit of it.
Fucking tinfoil hat wearing ass motherfuckers. God damn it.
Sometimes I wonder which is worse, them or what's his name that has the everything is conspiracy theory Facebook page and radio show. God, I don't. I'll remember. It'll come to mind at some point. He's a shock jock that thinks thinks that everything's a conspiracy. He even believes the Sandy Hook kids that died, it was all actors and no kids actually died in that.
I remember that conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no, he's the one that got that going. But sometimes I don't know which is worse, the Occupy Democrats page or his shit, because they stretch it.
They really do. I mean, hell, what was it? There was another one where they were talking about, the shooter and everything like that, and the very first photo that you see is of a 223 shell. Oh yeah,
a lot of the Facebook pages for radio shows and TV shows said shooting in Santa Fe High School, and it was an image of a 223 round. Okay,
even though they said
and I get why they did it. Okay, even though they won't admit to, because I called one radio station on it, and they contacted me back going, well, we have a limited amount of graphics that we have accessible to us on our page. It was
WBLJ.
No, it was LGBK, something like that, out of Austin, Texas.
WLBJ.
Yeah, WLBJ, out of Austin, Texas. I called them on it. I was like, dude, seriously? With the debate going on and how we need to go ahead and ban all semi-automatic weapons in the United States of America, or make them almost impossible to buy, this kid goes into school, shoots up the school with a .38 revolver and a shotgun. Okay,
no semi-automatics.
No semi-automatics. Okay, none. It wasn't a .38 pistol. It was a revolver. Okay. And you put up a 223 round casing as the image of shooting at Santa Fe High School. Well, as soon as people see that who haven't listened to the news yet are going to think somebody went into a high school with an AR-15 and shot a bunch of kids. But he didn't. And I turned around on their Facebook page and said, why in the hell are you showing this? And then I found a picture of a shotgun shell, and I found a picture of a .38 shell, and said, hey, graphics guy, maybe you want to use this next time.
And what's funny is that the graphics guy actually pulled the photo off the internet, off of Shutterstock.
He did. So here's the problem. They didn't use it from some vast library that they already have in stock, and they tried to say that they did. They didn't. They went and pulled that offline. And I will say, the moment I typed in shotgun shell, 223 rounds and 7.62 round casings were like the first 5.
Really?
Yeah, they were. It's because Google bases it off of what's the #1 searched for shell casing, which I typed in, shotgun shell casing, .38 shell casing. So they base it off of what's the most popular search based off of all the words you used.
Huh.
Because even at one point, I think number 12 was a clamshell, because I used shell in my search. Sometimes Google's is an ass hat. Sometimes. I think it does it on purpose sometimes. But anyway.
Hey, sometimes you need to get a good laugh.
But yeah, you can't even, you can't use the shell of a 223 unless you're intending something. And it really does look like when y'all are using those shells as a way to headline story, shooting at high school, 223 shell. And people are going to immediately look and go, well, did he use an AR-15? I thought he used a shotgun.
It's all about promoting the narrative that they're trying to push. You know, it's a huge agenda this is not a fucking conspiracy theory.
It is. It's an agenda to keep pushing the narrative, because guess what? Now we've had a mass shooting incident that doesn't involve a semi-automatic weapon.
And now they're all like, well, what the fuck? How the fuck are we going to
So what are we going to do? We're going to ban them all now? I mean, I get it, and I'm okay with you had to be 21 in order to purchase a firearm. Okay? Or serve in the military, or be a member of law enforcement, the couple different stipulations. I'm okay with this. I'm fine with that rule. I don't have a problem, because guess what? I'm 41 years old. I can go still buy a gun. Okay, now if you turn around tomorrow and say, well, only 50-year-olds can buy a gun. Okay, now I got a problem. That affects me directly. But the problem is you're talking about a garden variety shotgun. Now, let's stop and let's think about this for a second now, because everybody's like, we need to do something about this. Well, what the hell can we do? So let's take a look at all the laws that were broken in this situation. Well, we've got the obvious. It is already illegal to murder somebody. You can't just go in and decide I'm going to kill a bunch of people.
That's against the law.
It's against the law. You can't take a firearm on school property.
It's
anywhere in the United States of America. It's against the law. Okay? You can't have in your hands a firearm once you have made the conscious decision that you're going to kill somebody. That's against the law. Okay? A 17-year-old child in the possession of a revolver and a shotgun. The shotgun part is not against the law.
Actually, yes, it is, because you have to be 18 years old.
No, but you can have possession of a shotgun if it's been gifted to you by somebody who is of age.
Yeah.
Okay. However, the revolver, nope, you have to be 18 in order to possess. In order to
21.
You had to be the revolver. You had to be 18.
All handguns, to include revolvers, is 21.
I thought revolvers were prior. Okay. All right. Cool. So okay. So
rifles.
So he broke the law there.
Rifles and shotguns you can purchase when you are 18 in the state of Texas.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, got you. Okay. So now let's talk about some other things that broke the law. In the state of Texas, in order to walk around, even with a shotgun, not out in the open, on your person, not in a case, on your person, not out in the open, readily for everybody to see, you are required a concealed weapons permit.
Also called a license to carry.
And guess what? 17-year-old cannot get a license to carry in the state of Texas.
You have to be 21.
So carrying them concealed in his jacket is a violation of the law. He also had explosive devices on him that he manufactured himself. That's a violation of federal law.
Molotov cocktail and several pipe bombs.
He had possession of explosive devices on school grounds. Another law that's broken. Now let's talk about the shotgun. He modified the barrel. He sawed it off.
That's against
another one against the law. It's against Texas state law, and it's against federal law. Okay? He used a modified weapon in the commission of a felony. Another law. I mean, what, dude? I can sit here right now in my head and rattle off probably about 40 fucking laws he already broke.
The point of this is,
we already have a shit ton of laws that got ignored.
Y'all need to remember these words I'm about to say, because it's been said hundreds of thousands and millions of times. Laws only affect law-abiding citizens.
You're right. You said this earlier today, and I agree with you completely.
Exactly.
Okay? He broke so many damn laws that already exist. Okay? These laws already exist.
Is not going to stop anybody with
what law can we add that would have prevented this from happening? None! Because everything he did was a violation of the law. Which means he had no regard for the law or abiding by the law in order to pull this off. Why? Because if he did, he wouldn't have done it. Okay, so it doesn't matter what law you would have passed. Okay, it doesn't. Now, I do believe the dad is also culpable in this situation. Why? He left it out to where his son could readily gain access to it and take it and commit a crime.
Not enough discipline in the house.
Well, yeah, I get that. And you're right. And it's exactly with what's on the back of our shirts.
Bait your kids, save a life.
Okay. But the thing is, okay, Dad left him out. His son took his firearms and committed a crime. Multiple crimes. Dad's culpable. Just like I have firearms. If my kid takes one of my firearms, if I don't have it secured enough to where he can't get to it, guess what? I'm culpable. I am responsible for his actions when he leaves with mine. Just like if somebody borrows my car and decides to kill a bunch of people,
he's culpable.
Guess what? I'm still responsible to an extent that you did this stunt.
And beat you, Luther.
You know, but I mean, it's asinine that people are like, well, we need to pass laws. Okay, what laws? The two kids from Parkland that have been running around talking about how we need to ban semi-automatics and everything else immediately came out and said, see, this is what happens when you leave semi-automatics.
They had a whole fucking rally in Parkland, Florida.
And not a semi-automatic was used. Now, I don't know if any of our people out there are not familiar with what got used. I don't know. Should we try to make them familiar?
I think it's time for us to go ahead and bring in our special studio guest.
We have a special studio guest from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes, we do.
All the way from New Haven, Connecticut. And we're going to bring that guest in. We're going to have to We're going to have to scoot back a little bit because we're going to require some room for this.
Yes.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from New Haven, Connecticut, I have a Mossberg 500. Okay? Reason why I say New Haven, Connecticut is that's where Mossberg is from.
Yes.
All right? This is not a semi-automatic. Okay? Now, the kids from Parkland turned around and said, hey, this is what happens when you don't take semi-automatics away. This is not a semi-automatic. Why? Because in order for this to work, I have to put a round in this tube. I have to then slide this back, slide it forward, then aim and pull the trigger. Okay, that's our special guest. I'm not going to leave it up there for too terribly long because YouTube will shut our page down. They have this thing about guns now. Okay? However, thank you very much to our special guest from New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, I had a gun on the show, so the liberals are, their heads are exploding. Okay? But that's not a semi-automatic.
It's not.
Okay? If I had a .38 revolver, I would have had that here as well. Okay? A semi-automatic is a weapon that once you put the rounds in there, all you have to do at that point, once you have the first round into the chamber, all you have to do is pull the trigger until it runs out.
Yes. Okay?
The revolver does not work that way. It requires a separate action, and it requires two actions in order to operate.
Yes.
Okay? Semi-automatic only requires the pulling of the trigger because then it goes back and boom, and next round is already in. Okay?
Next round's already in, and the trigger is primed.
Yes. Okay? So, a shotgun is not a semi-automatic. I have to sit there and pump it to discharge the round I shot, the shell casing of the round I shot, to load the new round in, and then fire. Okay? I have to do all of that manually. Okay? It doesn't do it on its own. Now, they do have semi-automatic shotguns out there. They do exist. I don't want to buy one because I think it's shit.
Yes.
Why in the hell would you want a shotgun that shoots that rapidly? Okay, shotguns take time to center onto targets. I have no reason to buy a semi-automatic shotgun. It's pointless. Okay. Now, if you notice, that one has a really long ass damn barrel on it. Yes, that's because she is. When I was in law enforcement, she was brought down to where she had a shorter barrel. She had the pistol grip on her. I still kept my wood grain bottom on it. Just because I wanted to be an asshat where everything else was black except that.
The pump.
I'm like, I want my pump to still have some class. However, it was still legal. Still legal barrel. This kid cut it all the way to the tube.
That is illegal.
That's illegal. Okay? Because if you have a legal size load tube on the bottom of your shotgun, a actual purchased legal shorter barrel will stick out past the load tube.
Yes.
Okay? When you cut it at the load tube, which I will bring it back just to show you real quick. When you cut it here, it is now illegal. Okay, a modified or a short barrel that usually you can buy for law enforcement purposes goes about usually an inch and a half, 2 inches above past the load tube. Okay.
Yes.
Ah. Now I will say this if you'll notice, the whole time we'll be on this show, at no point will my gun shoot anything. Okay. My shotgun will not shoot a damn thing. That's another point we're going to prove that there is a shotgun in the room. I guarantee you nobody will get shot during this show.
Sorry, liberals.
Okay? Everybody's like, well, the gun killed people. No, it didn't. The guy who pulled the trigger killed people. Just like the one in Texas. The kid killed 10 people.
Guns don't kill people. Only people kill people.
People are the weapon. The gun is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, like I said, that's our special guest from, and the reason why I say from New Haven, Connecticut, is Mossberg's headquarters is in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay, and that is Mossberg 500, which is my shotgun of choice. I know a lot of people like to use the Remingtons, stuff like that. Nope. I like the good old reliable Mossberg. It is cheap. It is easily upgraded. It is easy to maintain, and shoots just as good.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think I picked that up for $1.50 at a pawn shop. So, I mean, you can't deny. But people are going to sit there and go, well, you could go into Walmart and buy one. Well, you can buy fishing and hunting supplies at Walmart, for crying out loud. Takes out doves rather well, too. Though I have, the barrel that's on is actually my duck barrel, which has the choke on the end of it inside the barrel. And what that does is when you shoot out, it doesn't allow it to immediately just spray wildly in a big funnel. It keeps it down in a narrow pattern for a long distance, so you get a much longer shot. But we don't need to talk about all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this kid broke all kinds of freaking laws. Okay. All kinds of laws. All right. There's no law that we could pass that would have prevented what happened yesterday.
No. And there's no laws that we can pass today that will prevent anything like this in the future.
No. And the bad part is a lot of people psychologically not sure where they're going now because this kid didn't match all the signs. This kid did not match all the signs of he's going to shoot up the place, which after Parkland, the huge memo went out to a lot of places saying, if you see these signs in kids, keep an eye on them, talk to them, find out what's going on. He didn't match the memo.
No.
So now the memo's no good. Okay? So the problem is the psychology of what we were going after doesn't work. Okay? Because this kid had no signs. Okay? The kids in Columbine had signs. The kid at the Parkland High School had signs. The kid, the crazy guy that shot up the elementary school, he had signs. There was signs. A lot of these had signs on this. They were getting ready to do something rash. This guy had no signs. Anybody that knew him that's been interviewed, like, I had no idea he would have done this.
Yeah.
He would definitely not have been the guy I thought that would have done this. Okay, you know how they always say when the neighbor snaps and kills his family, and there's always a response of, "Oh, well, he was such a quiet guy. He always said hi." This is almost like that situation. It's like, well, he was a nice guy, and he was okay to hang out with, and and be around. People try to throw out, this is what happens when you get bullied in school. I couldn't find. Did you find anything that says that he was a bullied kid?
There was something that did say that one or two of the students at the school had heard him say something about him getting bullied, but it didn't go any further than that.
Well, my concern at this point, because he went into the art room and started shooting.
Yes.
The art room has a purpose. He picked that location for a reason.
Yes.
And I haven't found yet if they've released any of the conversations they've had with him yet as to why he chose the art room. But that means something. As
far as it's being said, especially from the attorney, because the attorney was speaking and everything like that. Apparently, Demetrio, or I think that's his name, Demetrius. Something.
D.
Yeah,
it's
D.
D.
Apparently, he has been very quiet. From what the lawyer said was that he was very emotional, yet non-emotional.
Well, I mean, think about it. You just killed 10 innocent, or you just killed 10 innocent people and severely wounded 10 others.
Yes.
As a 17-year-old child, I'm pretty sure the realization after he had done it and when he gave up what he had done.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's in shock in his head.
Absolutely. But you know, when he was charged and, you know, they read the charges and everything like that.
I watched it.
Yeah, he pled guilty to all 10 counts of capital murder.
Well, no, he stated that all they said was they issued him his charges and said, "Do you understand the charges?"
Yeah.
He said, "I do."
Yeah,
and then they asked him if he was going to be asking for a court-appointed attorney, which he said he was.
Yes.
You know, because they read him his rights at the jail.
Yes.
And
which he waived his rights.
He waived his rights, but he did state that he did want a court-appointed attorney.
Yes.
And it's mainly because I know what's gonna happen. The only chance he really has is if he goes ahead and agrees to plead guilty to all 10 counts, not get life in prison without the death penalty.
Yes.
That's the only option they're gonna have. Mm-hmm. Now the prosecution could turn around and go, "No, you pound sand, we're going for the death penalty."
Yeah.
And I know Texas, and that's a damn good chance that's gonna happen.
Yes.
Now, I will say that there's going to be a lot of psychologists out there. It's like, look, this kid still seems like he's normal. His cheese hasn't completely slid off his cracker. We would rather him not get the death penalty so we could study him and find out why. You know, because the Parkland shooter, there's lots of things wrong with that kid. That kid's out there. But this kid doesn't really seem like his cheese slid off his crackers. Just they're going to have to find out why. At some point, he's going to have to tell them why he did it.
Yes.
At some point, he's going to have to let them know. But it is what it is. You know, it's unfortunate. It's sad that this has happened. Now I know that Governor Greg Abbott was there and did a lot of the press conferences, led the vigil that happened that night.
Yes.
Greg Abbott's cool dude. I got to meet Greg Abbott. Made some deliveries out to his actual residence, not the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
Cool cat. The other guy though,
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
that guy, Jesus.
I
hope he doesn't become governor of Texas. I really don't.
Well, Mama always says stupid is, stupid does. You know, this fucking Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick decided to go ahead and come out in a statement and say, what we need is we need
In
more.
case of those of you who are wondering, no, Dan Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Texas, is not Dan Patrick from ESPN.
No.
I have had multiple people ask me, is that the guy from ESPN? No. Just want to make sure I get that clarified.
So, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
Oh, don't start that shit.
Sorry.
I still owe people an apology after last week.
I know. Well, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but you know me, in a lot of pain and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I got you.
Yeah. So, anyways, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick went ahead, in a statement, decided to go and say, do you know what we need? We need more door control.
Okay, when you're talking about a school, and one of the, and let me, the hat that I'm wearing tonight is my home school, okay? It's Woodbridge High, Bridgeville, Delaware, okay? When you got a school that size, you can control access through one door into the main building. Now, there's multiple other buildings involved that the kids go to, but you can control access through one building. It's not that difficult. But when you're talking about a campus that's got over 1,000 kids on it, over 1,000 kids, and you're going to sit there and try to say that the best option we could have had to prevent this was they only come and go out of one door, you're an idiot. Okay, because that's not how it's going to work. It's not going to work for the kids. It's not going to work for the staff. Unless you have the fucking TSA sitting there at that one goddamn door where when they walk in, they can go through multiple different checking lanes before they go into the school. Then you're talking about the kids having to be at the school like hours ahead of time.
Yes.
It's going to be like the airport. If your plane leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning, show up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a bad reference because you go to an airport at 3 o'clock in the morning, ain't nobody there. Okay, but if you're leaving at noon on a Sunday, you better be there at least almost 2 hours in advance.
Yeah, because everybody else is trying to leave too.
Yeah, okay. So you're talking about Monday morning through Friday morning at a school when the kid's got to be there, and you're talking about trying to funnel 1,500 to 2,000 kids through one entrance? That's a nightmare.
That's not smart.
It's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work at all because every time you got to stop the line because somebody set the metal detector off, and you're causing everybody to be late to class. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, and then here's your next problem. Now, and they brought up the idea, well, we need bulletproof glass and bulletproof doors, so they can't shoot their way into the door. Okay, I get the bulletproof glass thing, and in fact, a lot of school doors, or windows, and doors, or exterior doors, are bulletproof because it makes it almost so you don't kids don't go up during summer and break down the glass with a hammer and go steal shit in the school. Which I don't know why anybody steals shit from a school. The computers are outdated and everything else. There's nothing to fucking steal.
Florida.
I know, but the computer systems and everything are so outdated, so it's nothing. Image is a big old floppy donkey. Thanks. Dark Sun. So, but I mean, there's nothing to steal, okay? But they do have the glass in place so that happens. You know, they're not exactly bulletproof glass. We're not talking armored vehicle glass. But in order to make the doors completely bulletproof to where you can't do anything to it to get in by force, you're talking about, let's just take a regular school, okay? Let's just take a regular school and let's do the math on the exterior, okay? Now when we say regular school, we're talking about a school with 1,500 to 2,000 kids, okay? Multiple buildings, multiple doors, okay? Like one school I used to deliver to in Texas, okay, since it's in Texas, over 400 exterior doors throughout the entire campus of this high school.
Yes.
Okay? You're talking about $1,000 to $2,000 a door. Even at $1,000, you're talking about $500,000 in renovation just to replace the doors. Okay? How many people in this country knows their school district has got that kind of money? Didn't we have like teachers going on strike everywhere because the schools can't afford to pay them?
Yes.
Okay, so that idea is not even feasible unless the federal government is going to start giving states money to replace all the doors.
Which they're not going to.
Which they're not going to do. The Democrats will sit there and tell you all day long that yes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do something to change this. And as soon as the money comes up in question, the Dems are going to say, well, we can't afford it. So be it. Okay, so that's not going to happen. So what do we do? Okay, yes, I believe that controlling access into the school can be done. You can have 2, maybe 3 points of entry.
It's feasible.
Where it is secured, and you have to go through a check ways to get in. Put a badge system up. Like you have major corporations that have more people working in a building than what they have in a high school, and they use a badge system. Yes. You go up, you gotta slide the card or stick it up against a magnet post. Now people are gonna say, well, what happens when you do that and you let your next 4 friends in? Well, they got cameras on those doors, and if you're in a business that has that, and you let people in without them swiping their badge, you get reprimanded, suspended, or fired for doing it. You know. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there in this world that are currently looking for a job that you could hire them to watch the videos to make sure this doesn't happen.
Yeah, I will say, like, at my alma mater, Pasadena High.
I mean, hell, I'd do the job. Why not?
Pasadena High in Pasadena, California, I will say that we did have only 2 entrances. But one entrance was for the ROTC cats, but that's because, you know, our commander knew everybody who was going in who was in ROTC, because we had to go into ROTC room and shit like that. That was its own building. But there was only one main entrance, you know, that broke into the campus. And it was wide enough to go ahead and fit multiple students at a time. We had a resource officer. All right, well, good night, Dark Sun. And we had a resource officer that was there that was watching everybody come and make sure that people were coming in on time. Yeah. You know, and if somebody was late, then they go ahead and close the gates. Mm-hmm. But, you know, and it worked. Yeah, and there's ways to do it. You know, but to say that one door, which is what he said, one door, people coming and going out of a school, it's not feasible. No. It's not feasible by any means. And, you know, when you have schools that are multiple building campuses, you know, it's like one that I delivered to, there's like 11 buildings in this school campus, and when you make a delivery there, you have to go to the corresponding building it has to go to. You check it into the front office, and then they tell you which building to go to. That was my school. Okay, so I would check in the front office, they're like, okay, you need to take your truck, you need to go down this way, you're going to turn down that road, you're going to go between these 2 buildings, hang a left, hang a right, hang a left, hang a right, and it's right there. Okay?
when you go through these, there's multiple ways in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay? Even with a fence around the school, you still can't completely control access on and off the property.
No.
So it's not feasible to do one door. There's ways to do this. Okay? If we're going to dump that kind of money in, instead of dumping that kind of money into building parts of the building that's going to screw the system up, why don't we hire more resource officers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A lot of these school districts, which you don't know, especially in Texas, because Texas, they'll tell you. Like the Austin ISD, which is the second largest independent school district in the state, because they encompass a lot.
Yes, they do.
Okay? Most of their schools, they have one resource officer for 5 or 6 schools. One officer for 5 or 6 schools. Okay? Because they don't have the money to get a bunch of resource officers.
Well, guess what?
And they're straight out of Austin PD.
And guess what? There are veterans out there who are willing to go ahead and take that job as a volunteer.
Okay? Go into the school. They could be there. Now, I will tell you that there was one school I went to, the county handles it, that I delivered to. And there was 4 freaking officers in there every time I go in there. 4 of them. Because the county handles it.
Yeah.
But inside the city of Austin, it's Austin PD that handles it, and they don't have the money to do it. So why don't we put together actual departments that's their job? Instead of making Austin PD handle the resource officers for Austin ISD, okay, then why not actually create a police department where that's their job? I mean, hell, colleges do it.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it for the school district? Austin ISD has its own police department.
Every college has their own.
Houston school district has its own police department. And then that way they can say that, okay, we know for a fact that these 3 schools are our trouble schools. So we're definitely going to have a couple more officers here than we would at Joe Schmo High School over here, which every one of those kids are scared to death that their parents are going to show up to school and beat them in front of everybody.
They're afraid to melt in the sun. Snowflakes.
And it's so, one of those schools where everybody makes the team kind of schools. We don't necessarily need a bunch of officers there. Okay, and then we could cover that. We don't need to arm teachers. Okay, now I will say that I had a couple teachers in my high school that I would be perfectly fine with them having a gun. My history teacher, if that man was armed, I guarantee you, he would take out a person that tried to do something stupid. Now, but when I was a kid, nobody ever thought about doing this kind of crap.
Now, granted,
if we wanted to kill people in school, we just wait till they were out of school and then we did it.
Now, granted,
I never did. Yeah.
When the whole Parkland shooting happened, President Trump has stated that he is okay with signing an initiative, for teachers who are proficient with special skills, like veterans or previous or retired law enforcement who become teachers, for them to be able to go ahead and be armed on campus.
Yes.
And he still sticks by that too. And he's actually coming out with a way that, for school districts that actually participate in this can get special grants. Because it's a big thing, because it's all about protecting the students. Because sometimes a resource officer, just like what happened with this previous shooting, granted there was 2 resource officers for that campus, but one of them was critically injured, almost killed.
Yeah.
So having teachers that are trained and proficient because they already have the previous skills due to previous job settings, it's perfectly okay to go ahead and take care of situations like that because they're already trained in those high-risk, high-stress situations.
Well, I will tell you this much right now. With my high school, when it comes, like I said, there's one teacher I know that I wouldn't have had a problem having a gun. Now, I don't know how he feels personally about teachers having a gun. I don't know because I've never asked him. One of these days when I talk to him on Facebook, I may just ask him, say, what do you think about only certain teachers in a school being able to be armed that can handle it? Now, we'll say, because this happened in the art department, I will mention about my art teacher that I had. If you showed up with a gun, he better have been the first person because he will disarm you by hand and he will take you out by hand. I will tell you that I've never, ever instantly been afraid of a human being in my life than when I was in high school when I said something stupid and he grabbed a hold of my shirt and lifted me off the ground. Okay,
He's a big boy.
I was this size in high school. Okay, maybe not quite 300 pounds, but I was not a small guy. Okay, and he lifted me off the ground. That moment, I feared that man, but I had respect for him. Okay, so so I had teachers in my school that I'm pretty damn certain would have handled the situation. I'm not saying teachers today can't.
Yeah,
but we also didn't have that problem when I was in school. Okay, I'm not joking. I was actually coughing. We didn't have that kind of problem. The kids didn't think about going into school and shooting a bunch of people in school when I was a kid. Okay, the worst thing you had to fear is if you said something wrong and you had to go out to the parking lot and then the kid you said something wrong to was waiting for you, or in the gym locker room.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we had bullies when I was in school. They've had bullies forever. Okay, and bullies are pathetic pieces of shit, and and they usually, a lot of times, bullies end up absolute worthless SOBs in life, and
yes,
usually don't make it far anyway, because when they get into the real world outside of high school, they find out real quick how much they can't intimidate people.
Yes.
But it's one of those deals. There's no laws that we can pass, people, to stop this.
No.
Society as a whole needs to change its mentality, because the way I was when I was a kid, the mentality then doesn't work now. Okay, people are different, but it doesn't mean that we need to eliminate guns from the world. And that's not going to solve the problem.
No.
Australia did that, and they just had a mass shooting incident.
They did.
People have already thrown it out. Well, in Australia, they banned guns. Dumbass. They just had a mass shooting incident. Okay? Like I said, you take semi-automatic weapons out of the picture. This kid killed 10 people and injured 10 more with non-semi-automatic weapons. You had a guy that was killing, or they killed people in Germany with a fucking hatchet. You've got another guy that stabbed a bunch of motherfuckers to death. Okay. There's as long as there's a tool that can kill somebody, this is where people are in this world. That now, instead of dealing with their problem and figuring it out, they now want to just strike out against people.
Criminals will always find a way no matter what. And like I said earlier in the show, laws only affect law-abiding citizens.
In my opinion on this situation may not be liked or agreed with by many people, but I will tell you right now, that is the mindset that we need to change to, is that people are now not willing to face their issues and figure out a way to live life and resolve it or figure out how to deal with it. They would much rather take the easy route and get a gun and shoot people. That's the easy route. That doesn't take a lot of effort to go into a building crammed full of innocent people who are scared to death the moment you start opening fire, and they have you can do all the drills you want to do in your school you want. The moment you actually legitimately have an active shooter in a school, all your drill techniques go right out the window. They run in all directions.
Yes.
Okay, they stampede. Okay, and I'm not making a reference to kids being stupid here when I say it's like cattle. Okay, the moment you spook a herd, they will all cram in multiple directions and run each other over. Okay, there's no sense anymore in them when fear happens. And the mentality of today is, instead of facing your problems and finding a way to resolve them, whether it's beat the piss out of the bully or figure out, okay, well, you know what? I know he can kick my ass, so what can I do to get through this? No, now it's go home, get a gun, take it to school, and shoot everybody, because it's the easy way out. It's the easy way to resolve it. And that's the mentality we need. We don't need to sit there and focus on the mentality we need to eliminate guns. That's not going to solve the fucking problem.
It's not.
Okay, because they'll find another weapon to do it, because it's still easy. Attacking people who have no way to defend themselves is an easy option. Okay, it's a very easy option. That's why bullies do it. That's why bullies attack people that can't defend themselves. So when you sit there and say, well, this person was bullied in school, well, they became the bully, and they killed a bunch of people who couldn't defend themselves against them. But this is the mentality we have to deal with. And eliminating guns from society is not going to solve the problem. Okay, that's the cop-out. That's a cop-out excuse. Oh, if we eliminate guns, this would have never happened. It doesn't matter because it already happened. It's already happened. It's not something we can now prevent. It's already happened. Okay? Everybody's like, well, we can prevent it from happening in the future. No, we can't. Because you know how long it's going to take in this world to eliminate every gun in every household? I mean, seriously, when you really stop and think about it. Let's do some common sense. Okay? Hey, horse! Okay, so let's stop and think about this for a second. Some people want to eliminate every single gun in every single home in the United States of America. Now, do you think everybody's going to turn over their guns? No. Second of all, do you know how long it takes to abolish an amendment? Do you know what it requires in order to abolish an amendment? Okay, we can't get them to agree on a spending bill on whether or not we can give farmers the green light to raise corn for ethanol right now. You think we're going to get 3/4 of the United States government to agree to abolish the Second Amendment?
Which they're trying.
And then even if we did, let's just say we got 3/4 of both houses to agree to abolish the Second Amendment. Okay? Then that shit's got to go to the states. Then the states have to agree. Then the governors have to sign off on it. Then it comes back. Then it goes to the Supreme Court. Then it goes back to the House. And if they still say okay, then it goes to the president's desk. And then you got to hope the president's okay with it. And then, do you know how long that's going to take? And then to go and say, okay, well now everybody has to give up their guns. Well, I can tell you that there's people who are law-abiding citizens who are still going to tell you to go fuck yourself. They're not giving up their gun.
Exactly.
So now we're going to have to go door to door and force people to hand over the firearms. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the shotgun's not registered. It's not required to be registered. So how many firearms out there are non-registered because they're not required to be? Okay? So then not everybody's going to, not all the guns are being given up. So then there's still access to firearms. So it can still happen. Not to mention how many are illegally owned in this country. Let's just take Detroit, for instance, which has turned into the world's largest urban shooting range. Okay? I'm willing to bet 1 out of every 5 individuals in Detroit possess a firearm, and 1 out of every 10 of them, or no, I'd say actually maybe 1 out of every 3 is illegally possessed.
Yes.
Okay? Do you think they're just going to show up to the police station and hand them over? If you think they are, you're as dumb as the people who think that when they put that Facebook post up that says, hey, if you purchase this methamphetamine from this area, please come to the sheriff's department and turn it in. It could kill you.
It could be laced with some insecticides.
All right? So, guess what? Eliminating the guns is not going to resolve your problem. Okay? It's not going to solve the problem. Because it'll take us 50, 60, 70 years to even come close to making a dent in the percentage of guns that are out there on the market. And that are out there either possessed legally or possessed illegally. Okay? You're still 50 years and you might make a dent in how much is actually out there. That's how many firearms are out there in this country. You know, you talk to a lot of different nation leaders out there in the world, and there's one of the main reasons why we don't get invaded is like, what was it, the Japanese or the Chinese that said that behind every blade of grass is a gun?
It was the Japanese. The
Japanese? Okay, sorry, I got my histories a little off. Okay, they're not that far off in accuracy in that statement. So eliminating guns, not going to solve your problem. Okay? It's not going to stop the school shootings. It's not going to stop the people going up into a hotel, breaking out a window and shooting a crowd full of people at a concert. It's not going to stop that. Okay? It's not going to stop any of that. Because it's still going to happen. What we can do is find steps and ways to recognize threats by having threat assessment mentalities. Be able to determine what is a threat. How can we resolve the threat with as minimal impact to society as possible? And banning guns is not a threat assessment. It's called a cop-out. It's the easy way out. Why? Because it's an easy target. Why? It's what everybody's scared of, is the gun. Okay? I don't know why you're not scared of the psychopath that pulls the trigger, but you're scared of the gun. You know, one senator even said, you know, if we just went up and we hugged a gunman, they, you know, they would feel bad about what they're doing and they would put the gun down. No, they'd shoot you before you gave them the hug. Okay? One of them even said if a gunman walks into a place and nobody's armed, they'd feel sorry for the people and put their guns down. Obviously not. This is the mentality that runs this country that some of you people out there keep voting for over and over again. Somebody asked me a question this week, and it goes to this. How do these people get elected? You know why? Because a lot of you people step into a voting booth and you look at the letter next to their name and you say, well, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, and that's who I vote for. That's not who I vote for, and that's not who any of you should vote for. Okay? If you vote for somebody simply because they have a letter in front of their name, you're an idiot and you shouldn't be voting. If you don't take the time to research who you're voting for, don't vote. You're only causing the problem. You're not helping it. I'm sorry I went on a rant.
And it doesn't mean go ahead and write in Harambe or something like that.
Yeah, don't be a moron and vote for Mickey Mouse. Okay? Actually take the time to participate in one of the rights that you have that was granted to you by the several people who laid down their lives so you have rights. And that those of us who went out there and fought and didn't die still went out there and fought so you have those rights. So actually participate. It doesn't take long to research your candidates. It really doesn't, especially now. I mean, when I was a kid, it was a pain in the ass. You know, my dad had to sit there and actually go meet them. Go talk to them. Or watch them when they're interviewed on TV. Hell, now you've got 8 billion different resources to go to, as long as it's not Russian, to find out about your candidate. Okay? Laziness is why we have the people in office we have. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, they just talked a good game. No, it's called laziness. Laziness is why we are in the places we are in now. Laziness is the reason why this shit is happening.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to go, not my fault, it's your fault.
Usually is.
And that's what happens. That's where we're at. We want to blame everybody else. I don't blame the shotgun or the .38 caliber revolver that the kid used to kill those people in that high school. I blame the kid that shot and killed 10 people and injured 10 more. I blame the kid that did it. I don't blame the gun, and I don't blame the revolver. Just like the Las Vegas shooting. I don't blame the AR-15s. I don't blame the bump stocks. I don't blame I don't blame the ammunition makers. I blame the guy that went up there and decided to shoot a bunch of people at a freaking Jason Aldean concert. That's who I blame. Okay? Yeah, no, it was the kid. It's the person holding the gun. And like I said before, the weapon is the human being. The gun is just a tool. You could kill people with a freaking 3/8-inch ratchet if you strike hard enough. Yes. Are we going to start banning them?
Maybe. If
somebody walks into a crowded place and starts beating people to death, you know, with a 38 ratchet, are we going to immediately call for comprehensive ratchet reform?
Yes.
No, because a ratchet's not scary like a gun is scary. What makes a gun scary is the people behind it. And yes, I have been to the range with some people that have no business having a fucking firearm in their hands.
As have I.
I kicked a person off a range one day. They weren't even there with me. But as soon as I looked up and saw the barrel of a shotgun pointed at me from the next table over, I looked at that person and said, you go now or I'm putting a bullet in your head. Because be damned if I'm going to get shot a second time in my life because somebody did something stupid. You know, like I said, it's not the tools. It's the individuals. We need to stop trying to point blame. You know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of something when I was a kid. When I was a kid, some shit would happen. And yes, there was telling people that you might never leave your house if you fear everyone. Let me tell you. Yeah, right? Okay, so I remember we had a kid. We did have incidences when I was a kid of a kid that would do something in a school. Okay? But I remember when when the Columbine incident happened, and I wasn't a kid in high school. I was in the Army when Columbine happened. I know. I had had my sleep apnea surgery. It was the first day I was home after surgery. That morning, I turned on the TV, and I see kids jumping out of windows in a high school. Okay? What was the first thing? Do you remember the first thing that the media tried to blame for that? Do you remember what it was? The first thing they tried to blame was Metallica. Because because in the car was the CD Master of Puppets.
Yeah, they're trying to blame Metallica and
Judas Priest
and Marilyn Manson.
And Marilyn Manson. They try. It's easy to find a place to blame. You know, people are always trying to find, like, for the longest time they blame video games for kids' violent behavior at home. They try to blame everything when really a lot of these times it comes down to, well, let's see, in few instances, shit for fucking parenting. The school just blatantly outright ignoring what was obvious.
Lack of discipline.
Okay, the Columbine incident was not only shitty-ass parenting, but it was also the school district ignored every fucking sign that said these two kids are going to do something very, very fucking bad. I watched every documentary on that school shooting, and you just sit there watching it going, how the f did you miss that? Because we're okay about pushing the blame after the incident, but people are scared to death of how people will feel if you pull a kid into an office and say, Johnny, we know that you're having some problems, and we wanted to talk to you and let you know that we're here for you, and anything that you need, our school's readily available. But we're afraid that Johnny's going to go home and say, Mom, Dad, they think I'm crazy. You know what? Don't be afraid of them going home and telling their parents. What are you going to have? Two pissed off parents going, why do you think my kid's crazy? Because your kid lays on the floor and sings to the ceiling light. We have a problem, and we got to figure it out, okay? I mean, come on, use some common sense, people. Common sense is one of the ways that we will help prevent these shootings from happening, is using a little fucking common sense. Stop being so damn politically correct, okay? And use some common sense. If the kid comes in 90-degree weather in a trench coat, and yes, in Texas, that is not exactly an odd thing, but maybe you want to pull the kid aside and say, you know, it's kind of 90 degrees and you got a black trench coat on with a bunch of weird pins on it. Let's sit down and have a conversation. And just sit them down and have a conversation. Say, well, why do you do that? Well, because I like it. It makes me kind of stand out. Okay, well, all right. Well, why do you think you need to stand out? Well, because I don't think that I really matter to anybody. Boom, there's your first red flag. There's your first warning sign right there. The moment a kid says, I don't feel like I matter to anybody. Which means either one, he's going to make himself matter really quickly, or he's going to eliminate himself from the world scenario. Okay? It's just use a little common sense, fuck political correctness, and let's save our kids' lives. Let's stop trying to do this when it's time to figure out what went wrong. The gun's not at fault. The whole time we've been talking, I have a Mossberg 500 shotgun sitting right next to me, and it has never gone off and tried to shoot me. Nor was its feelings hurt and it decided to go on a rampage. Okay? And no point. So, how is my gun going to kill a bunch of people? It's not going to. But if somebody picks up that gun with the intention to kill a bunch of people, then they will kill a bunch of people. But my gun will not do that unless somebody intends to do it, using it as a tool. And that's what I got.
All right,
and fuck, the rest of the world thinks that they just got a lecture from their old man.
So we have spent a little over an hour speaking about this topic, and we told you...
We knew we were going to.
Yeah, and we told you that this is going to be the hardest hitting topic that we're going to hit tonight.
But yeah, because, like I said, I hate when people use guns as a fucking excuse to blame your problems on. I have lived in a house with guns my entire life. Nobody has ever gotten shot by them that I'm aware of, unless my dad buried them in the backyard. But that's because they broke into the fucking house. My house was the wrong fucking house to break into when I was a kid. And now. Even my mom's armed.
Alright, so moving on to our next topic. This actually happened this past Wednesday. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears.
Real quick, because I didn't acknowledge anybody in the chat room during that whole tirade. Okay, Horace did chime in and says, I read that part. Yes. He also said he was nodding his head his agreement. Catherine says, I like telling people that you might never leave your house if you fear everyone.
Which is very true.
Okay. So, by the way, folks, if you're out there listening or watching this on YouTube, we do have a chat room. We do interact with you on a chat room.
Yes, we
Once
do.
I get going on a rant, though, usually I'll get to it.
Yeah, but I'm following, and we're both watching, but he keeps going.
Yes. I'll get on these, and sometimes you got to take a mallet and hit me in the head to get me to shut the fuck up.
Sometimes. So moving on to our next topic. This next topic, we're going to go ahead and switch gears over to our little Asian friends across the ocean.
Yes, other than the fact that the prince got married today and somebody shot up a high school in Texas, we do have other things going on in the world.
Yes, we do. So this past Wednesday, apparently North Korea went to go ahead and it's like, you know what, hey, the talks that we're supposed to be having with President Trump on June 12th, we're probably going to go ahead and stop that and nix it and all the other shit that we promised because, you know, South Korea and the U.S. are doing joint Air Force drills down there and we don't like it. Well, it turns out there's a little bit more to the story than just that.
Yeah, well, there's always more to the story, but then we know we're talking about the North Koreans who use every excuse in the world to back down from their agreements.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. I said on this very show that I am hopeful that this is all going to happen, but I am going to be very extremely cautious.
Cautiously optimistic.
We know how this guy is. He has made lots of promises in the past and has never upheld them.
So, very cautiously optimistic. But apparently, the whole reason that is being speculated about this is because apparently 2 days prior, North Korea had talks with China. And we're guessing that China said, hey, look, we don't really like the U.S. right now because of what they're doing to us, you know, with the whole trade embargo and the tariffs and everything.
And we all know the only reason why North Korea is still even alive
is because of China.
The North Koreans have an economy and a budget smaller than the state of New York.
Yes.
The only reason why they exist is because of China.
Yes.
They would have gone under a long time ago if it wasn't for China.
So the biggest thing to take away from this is President Trump has come to say, he goes, look, we understand what's going on. My people are still talking to him as of this moment. We are still talking to him, trying to figure things out. You know, if the talks happen on June 12th, then the talks happen. If they don't, we'll move on to the next step.
We'll move on to the next step. He's not breaking stride.
He's not breaking stride. He's not sweating it. Because he already had contingency after contingency after contingency planned in case things fell through.
Yep.
Because he is standing firm, just like how he promised before he became president. We will deal with North Korea. We will get it taken care of. No more fucking drawing lines in the fucking sand. No more
one
fucking
way or
appeasing
another.
them.
We'll take care of it.
Shit will get done. And he's sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it on that.
Yeah, there's not much more than that. We're still waiting to see what happens. June 12th is still a ways away.
Yeah, we're looking about a little less than a month now.
Okay, so we still got some time to see what happens and see what North Korea does. As far as we know, the satellite imagery shows them dismantling that one nuclear test facility. Now, I will say, not 100%, victory here. This is also the facility that they damaged during one of their tests. They destroyed 3/4 of the complex.
Yes.
So
dismantling, it was going to happen anyways, but if they start rebuilding, then that's a completely another story.
But at least it's something they are doing at the site because they weren't doing anything, period, before this.
Absolutely.
And they did release the 3 hostages.
They did.
Which were not like the last one where he died after they got him free.
Yeah.
Hello!
So we did get our 3 hostages back that North Korea was holding, and they've been holding them for a few years.
So, yeah, so we definitely, we are making
strides. We're making progress.
I mean, China getting involved again, that kind of took a step back, but we'll see what happens.
Exactly. And it's not going to be a whole fucking nuclear war. That's not going to fucking happen.
Well, yeah, I still love the look on everybody's faces when
they're like, oh, it's going to be World War III now.
World War III. No, it's not. So.
No.
All right, so there you go. So that's that story when it comes to that. Do you think North Korea is serious about this peace or is just a ruse? You don't know with them.
We honestly don't.
I mean, in all honesty, at the time, Clinton was the best. Was probably going to be the best option for peace, because we all know the last administration did a horrible ass job at trying to gain peace with anybody, because all he ever did is show up and kiss people's asses. But Clinton was one of the best chances we had for peace in that region, and he couldn't pull it off. But that was during the Dad's reign. Dad was still what was that? Kim Jong Un. Was that
Kim Jong Il? Kim Jong
Il. When Il was the dictator of North Korea, and that guy was as nutty as they could be. But this is the first time that you had a North Korean dictator and a South Korean president together.
No.
Voluntarily on the DMZ.
No, this is the second
holding
time.
Hands.
Second time.
No, the last one didn't hold hands.
Kim Jong-il did.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I missed that part.
Way back in like the early 90s.
I didn't know that they held hands.
Yes.
They did?
They did.
Okay. Well, okay. So, look, I'm telling you right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that it's over and that we'll finally have peace and we won't have to worry about that place anymore. But
we will see.
I have the Ronald Reagan approach to this. Trust but verify.
Yes.
And so I'm going to trust that you're going to do this, but I'm going to verify that you're doing it. And if you prove me wrong,
shame
on you. So that's where I'm at on that.
So moving on to our next story.
Yes.
This is a very interesting one because this also happened on Friday involving a gun.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead.
And nobody got hurt except a chandelier.
Well, somebody did get hurt, but it was the shooter itself.
Everyone is saying it's Trump's doing, but what did he actually do? Okay, so what did Trump do that's different? Okay.
Well, so they're saying that Trump is doing it, but what did he actually do? As in, like, did he actually do it, or did he just say it and somebody else is doing it?
Well, now, you got to understand there's a lot of moving parts in the government.
Huge moving parts.
Okay, so, yes, the president is the lead on this. Any president, when it comes to this situation, is the lead on this. Okay? But, yes, they have a team of individuals working, especially our Secretary of State right now.
Pompeo.
Okay? Who was over there and was there when they released the prisoners and brought the prisoners home.
Yes.
Okay? Which the media went nuts because he wasn't here during the other situation, and sat there and goes, "Well, look, he's not. He's AWOL." No, he was in He was in South Korea bringing home the hostages. There's a lot of moving parts, and understand that Pompeo has been over there quite a bit,
yes.
And he has a following over there,
so he knows how to deal with it.
The South Korean government trusts Pompeo, and he is over there quite a bit handling these relations. But Pompeo would not be Secretary of State if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
Correct.
Okay? Because Donald Trump's the one who brought him in. Now, it was Michael Bolton that strongly recommended Pompeo, as well as Rudy Giuliani made that recommendation very strongly. So there was a lot of people that made that recommendation to Pompeo be the next Secretary of State, including the outgoing Secretary of State that he replaced. But Donald Trump is the one that's saying, okay, we need to handle this. I'm going to get in front of this and I'm going to talk some smack. You guys need to back me up on this and we need to make this happen. So it's a team effort, but when you look at it in terms of, like, say, football, Trump is more or less the head coach, and you've got the members of his cabinet and staff are the players on the field. Okay? And so that's how it's going. Yes, Trump got the ball rolling, and his staff is the one that's making the ball continue to roll.
But if it's not for Trump actually being, look, we need to take care of this.
Don't beat on the desk.
Sorry, we need to take care of this. So how are we going to? And that's when the cabinet goes, okay, well, we can do this, or we can do this. And Trump is the one that makes the final call saying, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this, see how it goes. If it doesn't work, then we'll go ahead and do this.
It's his decision ultimately on how this breaks down. Okay, but they all come together and say, okay, this is our plan, the CIA has their plan, that, you know, these people have their plan, these people have their plan, Joint Chiefs of Staff have their plan, and then they all sit down and they go to the White House chief advisor, and then they say, okay, these are all of our plans, and then the advisor turns around and briefs the president on the different plans. Or the president sits down with them at the table and says, okay, what's your plans? Let's see what's the best option. That's how it works. And so, yes, the president is the one who's in the forefront of the option, but there's a lot of people involved that make this happen, if that answers your question. Okay, I'm sorry to get off topic, but I got to know. It just happened. What happened to your hair, man? I hope that's not a sore topic. Apologies, completely different.
He shaved his head.
No, I shaved mine off because the problem is, y'all know that I had a mohawk, and I had a very long mohawk going, with the exception of the fact that, as you can see by the glare, I'm losing hair here and up here, and it was getting real thin, and it was looking scraggly, and so I went ahead and just said, to hell with it. It's never going to grow in fully anyway. And decided to go ahead, and it's time to just go ahead and shave it off.
And try and regrow it.
You know, and I'm not going to regrow it. It's done. I'm just going to keep a bald head from here on out. I said to myself, once this line connects, which it has, I'm never growing long hair again. Not even once. Yeah, I know you were talking about me. But that's why I don't have the mohawk anymore. You know, it's just my head is now balding completely. And I don't want to look like a fucking clown with the hair on each side of my head. So I'm just going to shave my head every single week, you know, every week, 2 weeks, and do that. Oh, no, you meant Raj. Okay, yes. Do you mind talking about it?
Go ahead.
All right, so quick update on this. Okay, so we all know that Raj has stomach cancer. Okay, and Raj has been going through treatments to get this done, and I will say that the VA here in Gulfport, amazing fucking people.
It's been very intensive. It's taken a huge toll on me, but yeah. I'm still working. I'm still doing everything that I can. Granted, it fucking kills me, but
well, at least you did learn a valuable lesson in all this.
I did.
One day, let me tell you this story, because I was trying to understand why. You know, why in the world he was in more pain than usual from his treatments, because usually his pain comes on with time. You know, the first day he's kind of shitty, but, you know, not terrible. It's usually like the second and third day is really bad. But when we were together right after he went to the VA, like, he was like instantly in fucking pain, because he saw a guy go in for his radiation treatment, and that guy was in and out of there in 30 minutes. And he had to ask, well, how in the world did that happen? I want that. And they're like, are you sure? He's like, is that an option? I said, yeah, we inject it straight into you. All of it. Right there. And he's like, I'll do that.
Worst mistake ever.
Dude, I swear, if you would have held a match to him, he had gotten so hot, it would have lit the match. That's how bad it was. And he was in the worst pain I've ever seen him in my life. And I don't want to make it sound like it's hilarious, but after the fact, it is kind of hilarious, because when he went for his next treatment, I looked around and said, you ain't getting the injection this time. You're like, oh, hell no. But no, unfortunately, one of the side effects to receiving chemo is it causes your hair to fall out.
On top of that, like massive fucking burning pain throughout your entire fucking body.
And so he was starting to get the splotches in locations and stuff like that, and actually getting splotches in his eyebrows, his mustache, and
beard,
stuff like that.
And everything like that.
So he went ahead and just shaved it all off. So that's why. But, you know, the thing is that they're getting a handle of this, and they've gotten in front of this, and everything is looking very bright in this picture.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, you do have to go through You do have to go through even more treatments now because
they want to be a lot more aggressive, which we're doing right now. I'm doing treatment once a week, plus I'm also taking the pill every day, which really fucking sucks. But I had an MRI done on Tuesday. Got a call a few days later. Apparently, they're a little worried about something they found in my back. So I got to go back on Friday for another MRI, to get a closer look, do some more scans, and see exactly where it's at.
We're hoping that it's nothing more than just a herniated disc issue, which is very,
which
is workable.
Which I do have herniated disc, degeneration, spondylosis, and everything like that, which I got while I was in the Army. But they're saying that they might have found more than just that, so that's the reason why they want to do another MRI. And I'm really happy with the VA down here because they are literally on top of things. And it's awesome.
They find something weird, they get on it. They don't go, well, we want to wait and see what happens, kind of thing. Oh no! They want to know. We're going to figure this shit out. And we're going to fix it.
So stomach cancer is beatable. I've beaten it before. This is actually my second go around. So I've beaten it before. It's no worries. With the treatments itself, we're doing it on a month-by-month basis. Mm-hmm. So I've already done a full month of treatment, and I'm starting my second month because they're like, okay, so we do need to do more. So pretty much every 30 days, we're doing more scans and, adjusting from there. So it's, adjust and move. I do not play Amp Guard anymore.
He will be soon.
Shh. We don't know that.
You will.
But
I can't stand in the middle of a field recruiting people by myself.
Well, even then, when I was in Amp Guard, I didn't really fight, because of my injuries and so on and so forth. So I focused majority of my stuff to service, cooking and running events and being an asshole and yelling at people.
Oh, will you stop?
Hey, I was yelling at people and making weird noises.
You weren't. When I come back, you're gonna need to go elf-like character. Okay. Well, yeah, probably. Cool. But yeah, no, it's a process, and we're getting through it, and he knows that I'm here to support him.
Yeah.
And keep him going.
But what's funny is that because I'm going through this, and he's actually my boss. He learned a very valuable lesson when it comes to if he has to work with somebody else.
Yeah, if anybody ever works with me in the future, I will tell you right now, probably not a good idea, because if your dumbass tries to call and say, going, man, I'm not feeling good. This fool went to chemo at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had him back in the truck by 9 o'clock, and we were delivering freight.
That shit sucked.
Okay, and he never missed a day. Never missed a day. So if I ever have anybody working for me that decides, well, I'm not feeling too good today, so I can't go to work, I'm like, let me tell you the story about Raj. Now get your ass to work. Because unless you were in the hospital and they've got you plugged into a fucking wall, your ass can come to work.
And it's funny because it wasn't, him calling saying, hey, are you feeling okay to come to work? It's more like, hey, I'm out of treatment. Pick me up. Let's go.
Came by the house, 9 o'clock, 9:30. He was in the truck, and at 9:45, we were making a delivery.
Yep, heavy ass fucking windows. Yeah. That shit fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But we dealt with it. We got through it. And yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, motherfucker, I have a guy who came to work with cancer. Okay, you ain't got no reason. Okay, calling it.
I mean, hell, that's what Stacey was telling me when I was working at Pluckers, because apparently she felt bad, and all the other people I was working with felt bad, and made them want to work harder, because they're all like, yeah, I'm not feeling good, but this motherfucker's over there with fucking cancer working his ass off.
There you go.
So it made them work even harder,
So let's go ahead and move on with the next.
Yeah, so we're moving on.
Let's move on with our parts of the show, and don't worry, you're not asking us to step out of topic and not anything like that, so don't apologize. First person I know that's ever had cancer, so it's kind of cool. But I hope you beat it.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, okay. So we know what you mean. So anyway, let's move on. So this next issue that we were talking about was involving another individual with a gun. So, and like I said, a chandelier got taken out.
Yes, a chandelier got taken. So apparently, it's
chandeliers are going to ask for gun bans now.
So yesterday, there was a 49-year-old man named Jonathan Oddie who walked onto the Donald Trump golf course in Florida.
It was a Mar-a-Lago one, right?
Nope.
Oh, no, it was the other one.
Delora.
Delora. Yeah.
Yeah. So, went into the Trump golf course, Delora, waving a gun at about, what was it? I think it was 1:30 in the morning. Because it's also a resort. Took off the American flag off the flagpole, draped it across the service desk, started waving a gun and started yelling anti-Trump obscenities. You know, fuck Trump and yada 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 and all that shit. Fired one round into the ceiling, fired another round into the chandelier, and waited for the cops to show up. Well, it turns out that he was goading the cops, and the cops decided to go ahead and respond, and they actually had a shootout.
He got shot in the leg.
He got shot in both legs by law enforcement, and then they subdued him. Now, this is what I really love about this, because we can actually show you guys what we're talking about.
Show him.
This motherfucker, Jonathan Oddie, 49 years old, decided to go ahead and have a shootout with Delora and Miami-Dade PD. As you can see, he's right there on the stretcher being taken to the ambulance after he was already subdued and the firearm was taken away.
Yep.
And
here we see the Miami-Dade police department having a cup of coffee sitting at the entrance of the golf course. Made sure the clean charger was there for the photograph.
well, I mean, it is Miami-Dade, and they have some really nice fucking gear.
Well, and they have money.
Yeah, they have lots of money.
They do.
But pretty much, he was coaxing and goading law enforcement, and we're pretty sure that's probably because he wanted suicide by cop.
That was probably his intent, and instead the cops decided to shoot him. So these guys are like, you know what? No, if we shoot the guy, they're going to start protesting. If we kill the guy, so let's just shoot him in the legs. Well, that's not exactly what happened. They shot the guy in the leg. Trust me, when you draw down on a guy, your intention is not to shoot the wound. Okay, so something tells me they need $5 and a one-way ticket to an arcade.
No, actually, their intent was to wound him.
Was it?
Yeah, that was their intent. Their intent was
you want to get sued? Because that's how you get sued.
But yeah, it's because they knew. Because I'm pretty sure, just like how we thought that it was that he wanted suicide by cop, they realized the situation because he was coaxing them.
Oh, if he wasn't intending to kill them, like he wasn't shooting at them, he was shooting somewhere around them. Okay, but I mean, yeah. I could have probably shot him in the leg too. But I mean, if I'm pulling my weapon, I usually aim center mass every single time.
Yeah, this is very true.
I thought you were going to shoot in the leg. Yeah, that one just got away from me. But you shoot perfect. No, I don't. I miss one every single time on purpose. They tell you that too when you're law enforcement. They tell you if you're going to go to the range to qualify when it's on paper, make sure if you shoot perfect, you know every normal time, you one off target on purpose so you don't get a perfect every time. It's coppable excuse when you get sued.
Yes.
You know, I never shot a gun before. Mom's not a fan of them. No, I get you on that. I get you on that. And some people aren't. And sometimes you just gotta wait until you get out on your own before you own a gun.
I will say this: my mom is not a fan either, but she does have a 9mm.
I will tell you though, at any point, if you decide when you do want to buy one, if I'm anywhere nearby or can make myself readily available,
well, either of us,
we can show you how to shoot your firearm properly, how to hit your targets every single time, and also how to utilize it in an enclosed space. So if you have a gun and somebody breaks into your house, we can show you how to take down somebody who's broke into your house.
Yeah, we'll show you how to pie the corner. We'll show you how to do all that stuff.
We can teach you exactly how to take down a subject inside your structure.
Yes.
Okay, so we can show you all of that if you want to know that. And we make that readily available to anybody. If anybody's watching a show wants any kind of firearms training on how to defend your home and how to defend yourself in a situation with a firearm, we're more than willing to show you how to do it.
We are trained individuals.
I'm more trained in close confined quarter shooting and hand-to-hand shooting kind of things than you are necessarily, but both of us we can teach you exactly how to get your bullet into the target.
Yes.
You know, it is not a difficult or complicated process. It just takes some time and nerves.
Yes.
It just really is. It's just, that's all it really is nerves. You've got to be able to be comfortable. But when I have a family of my own, I do want to own 1 or 2 of them for safety measures. Perfectly fine. We have more than that, but, you know.
Yes.
It's perfectly fine. 1, 2 guns. We can show you how to defend your house with 1 of them.
Yes.
You know, if you have a secondary weapon available, even better for you.
Yes.
You know, I'm not going to lie. Having 30 of them might be a bit excessive.
I've always wanted to go hunting one day. Hey, hunting is actually fun.
Hunting is, and I always say, okay, hunting is fun, but also remember it's a very serious thing. You are taking the life of something else.
Yeah, anytime that I've hunted not for sport.
I never hunt for sport.
But I've hunted for food.
Yep. I've eaten everything I've shot.
Yes.
Except people.
It will definitely teach you patience.
You know, sometimes I do think there should be a hunting season on some people.
We're not going to do a purge.
No, I don't believe in that. That's just asinine.
All right, so moving on.
Yes.
So now we're going to go ahead and move to our neighbors to the south of us.
Yeah, it's over in Cuba. You know, they have wonderful, fine cigars. They have beautiful women. And some of the some really great rum, too, down there in Cuba.
Yes. Well, apparently...
They also have a terrorist holding facility as well.
Yes, we do.
All right,
so unfortunately, you know, this past week, there was a 737 crash that happened in Holguin, Cuba. There was 105 passengers on board, and only 3 of them survived, unfortunately.
No, that's very fortunate that in a 737, it crashed the way that it did, that 3 people survived.
Yes, 3
It's
people
unfortunate
survived.
Everybody else died, but 3 people surviving is a fucking miracle.
Absolutely. So apparently the plane crashed 6 miles past the runway of the airport. It crashed...
We don't have a graphic for that.
Yes, we do actually.
All right, cool.
So we'll go ahead and let you see this. So
no, that is not a Lollapalooza concert.
No, it is not.
That is a Cuban. That is a 737 wreckage.
Yes, that's
3 people survived that.
Yes, and that is absolutely extreme. You know, it's very miraculous that 3 people even survived that crash.
I'm not to make a joke, but I'm looking at this photograph, and the first thought that comes to my mind is that one guy in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Looks like he just had the world's longest selfie stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, he's the one that took the photo. Yeah. But, okay, so you have no idea what you're looking at. Okay, what you were looking at right there is the edge of a tree line by a field. That large white object that's above a couple people that's underneath where that smoke is.
White and blue.
That is part of the fuselage of the aircraft. Okay? The rest of all that crap that is down there around where people are standing is the remainder of the plane and the earth that was disturbed by... What's a fuselage? Okay, so your plane is basically broken up into a couple parts, all right? Your airplane, you have your wings... You have your main body. Okay, so here, I'm just going to use this. Okay. All right, so let me use this as an example. It's a horrible example, but let me just use this as an example, okay? Now, normally underneath, you would have, let's say, here's your set of wings. This orange stick represents the wings. So here's your plane, okay? Plane flies around. Okay, up here where this is where your crew, your flight deck, okay? Here's your fuselage. Then you have a tail sticking off the top of it. Okay, your fuselage is the main body of the plane where everybody sits inside the plane. Okay, that's what your fuselage is. That large object you saw that was underneath the smoke in that photograph is what's left of part of the fuselage. Now, in a lot of these plane crashes, when they happen, you don't even get that large of a piece.
Nope.
Okay, and the fact that 3 people survived that is a miraculous feat.
Yes.
On the ground, all the crap that's on the ground where those people were lined up against, that's all the rest of the parts of the plane. A lot of times in these plane crashes, you're lucky if you get main parts of the plane the size of this mug. Okay?
Yes.
A lot of times you will see, like, seats. Seats survive crashes because they immediately get thrown out when the impact happens.
Yes.
weirdly enough, the plane will completely obliterate, but you will find people intact.
Yes.
You know, completely intact. They may be, their body might be scarred up and ripped up from the stuff that hit them on impact, but for the most part, the bodies are actually intact too.
That's the whole reason why that when planes go through turbulence and everything like that, they tell you to strap in your seatbelts. It's not for your safety, it's that way in case the plane crashes, they know exactly how to identify the body.
Yep, pretty much. And if you're strapped to your seat, the seat gets ejected from the plane, you're going to probably die. It will be a quick death. You're not going to suffer, but it does help them identify so they can contact your loved ones and let them know that they have found you.
Because everybody's assigned a plane seat, and the seat itself has markers to show exactly what row and seat it is.
Wow, that's not fucked up at all. Well, I mean, it's a thing.
It is a thing.
Okay, it's a standard set by the National Transportation Safety Board that it's for being able to identify victims and crashes, that these people are sitting in their assigned seats and they find them in their assigned seats. It's reality, and it's mainly for that, because the problem is when a plane crashes, until the last 20 years, you had a very damn good chance at the plane crash that you were not going to survive.
Yes.
Now, they are finding in some of these plane crashes now that more people are surviving the plane crashes, because they are building them better to where when the plane crash happens, it removes you from the crash. See, what was killing people instantly was when the plane hits into the ground, it just obliterates with everybody in it. Now it's breaking into pieces, and so there's a much higher survivability rate of a plane crash. So, but in this particular one, the reason why I say it's miraculous that 3 people survived is because the plane took a nosedive and its crash.
So what ended up happening is, apparently, while this was happening, the noise itself was actually drawing people out of their holes.
Trust me, I'm scared to fly, and it's not that bad.
I love flying. It's great.
You have much more likely chance of dying being struck by lightning than you do dying in a plane crash. Okay?
So apparently what one eyewitness actually saw was the plane was taking off from the runway, and all of a sudden it started to tilt to the right, and then its engines revved up, and then it crashed.
Actually, no. If your plane is struck by lightning, the lightning won't do anything to the plane whatsoever.
Nope.
The plane is actually built as a conductor to pass it through to the other side.
Yes.
If you can actually Google videos of planes struck by lightning. You watch the lightning will hit one section of the plane and go out the other section of the plane, and the lights never even dim in the plane. Mm-hmm. They're designed that way. They take lightning. But yeah, so when it went up and it banked, and the movement is called banking when it suddenly shifts. Like when it turns abruptly to one side, it's not a normal turn. It becomes a bank when you turn it up to make a very hard turn, which passenger planes are not designed to do. No. And when it does that, you throw it off. There's a lot of things involved with a plane in order to make it work. Okay, and so when you throw the physics of what the plane's designed to do off, then you have a very short period of time, within seconds, to correct it, or it loses its ability to fly. Okay, because a lot of things have to go right for a plane to fly.
Think of like a paper airplane. Mm-hmm. When you go ahead and throw it, and it starts to turn, if it turns too much, it automatically turns up and then
you see
crashes.
It drop. It goes nose first in the ground. Well, that's what happens with a passenger plane. If you get it too far and you don't correct it in time, in that time span that you have, which is a very small window, then it will nose down into the ground, because it's designed that the air has to flow a certain way over the wings. Well, if you screw up the plane itself will try to correct itself. If you are too far over, the plane will flip itself upside down, and once it gets to an upside down, then it tries to roll back in order to correct itself.
Yes.
Well, in a passenger plane, once you nose down, unless you are way the hell up there, there is no chance you're pulling a fucking full flip.
Nope.
It's not happening. Okay. Then at that point you lose the lift on the aircraft, and she usually will go, if you're high up, she'll go into a spin until she hits the ground. In this situation, she was banking, and when she banked, the engines kicked in, which is an automated system. The plane tries to correct itself. What it sounds like is the pilots were fighting it and do not let it do what it's supposed to do, and it caused it to nosedive. And by the way, sorry to get off topic. Notice your beard braid. I want to braid mine, but how long should I expect to wait before I can grow it out long enough to braid?
6 inches.
No, I was able to actually start braiding this once it was about 4 inches or 3 inches from my chin. I was able to actually get a braid started when it was this low, but it's extremely tight on your chin and it hurts. This I've got down to, what am I at, a little over a foot now in the braid. And so, yeah, so I mean, it depends on your hair. It really does. Everybody's is different. Don't worry about going off topic. It's fine. Sometimes it draws us back into what we need to talk about.
I can't braid, so.
You know, but yeah, so when that happens, and I've watched a lot of the NTSB's plane crash investigations, in a situation like this, what it sounds like, somebody read their instrumentation wrong. Mm-hmm. They tried to correct it because they weren't reading the instrumentation correctly. They incorrectly applied a correction to the problem. The plane's automated system tried to correct it because that, even in the 737s now, even in the ones built 20 years ago, it's a lot of it is the machine, the computer system pilots it.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of it is all done by computer. So instead of them letting the computer fix the problem, they correct. Now, it could be a situation where the computer shut itself down. They have had that problem in the past where the computers had a malfunction, had to reboot, and when they did, they didn't notice it immediately, and the plane went out of control before they noticed it.
Yeah.
That happened to a 757 over the Atlantic Ocean about 15 years ago, where the computer system shut down, and they misinterpreted what the plane was doing, and they ended up putting it upside down and nosed it right into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things and factors involved, but a lot of times it sounds like it's pilot error. Is the reason why the plane went down. Now the computer could have completely screwed up and suddenly said, "Hey, we're turning and dropping." But 90% of the time when they do this investigation, they find out that the pilot screwed up. It's unfortunate.
All right, so moving on to our next topic.
Now, I have friends that are preppers, and with this information coming out publicly,
it's going to make them go crazy.
It's going to make them go crazy. I had one, in fact, Jesus is that guy that tried to steal Amcart, his girlfriend. She's a huge prepper, and every time we got to talking about this particular subject, she'd go nuts, and I turned around and told her, so do you realize what it's going to take before that becomes a worldwide epidemic? Yeah. And she was ready to run for the hills the moment somebody even used the word that we're about to say. The moment somebody used this word, she was immediately ready to run for the hills.
And the word is
Ebola. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Ebola. You know that that it's not so great garnishing on salads.
You're thinking E. coli.
No, I'm talking about Ebola because Ebola, that was one of the ways that they had an issue with it transferring here a while back. Now no, the one that you're thinking about, the one in Texas, yeah, that was the guy that flew here and had it and
that's
got people
Ebola.
sick. No. There was another situation where somebody had it, sneezed on a freaking salad bar, and people were able to contract it that way. Well, the moment he sneezed, he put it in the air.
Yeah.
But still, that's why I make the little joke. Not exactly your salad, garden variety.
Yeah, wasn't that a Coco's or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But anyway, Ebola is pretty fucking nasty. Okay, most of the people that contract it, unless you within hours of you getting it, if they ain't worked on you the moment that you come down with the first initial symptoms, you're dead.
Yes. So apparently,
very horribly too. At that, it's not good.
So most outbreaks of Ebola happen in very rural areas.
Very poor
rural areas that are more or less likely excluded from the rest of major populations.
Yeah, like tribal regions.
Yeah, they're very isolated. But it turns out that now there have been about 40 cases of an Ebola outbreak that have happened right outside the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Now, the Congo is not. This is no stranger to having, bacterial, viral, different kinds of shit break out and kill a bunch of people. Nothing that's not new to the people of Congo to have. It's sad, but it's not new for them to have these kinds of things. And in fact, the Hollywood ran with a couple different movies where they were basing that the U.S. government was testing shit in these countries, and that's where this shit comes from, which is not the case.
No. But the reason why this is so big is the fact that something so contagious, that's so lethal, is now fixing to affect a major city.
Yes.
Where hundreds of thousands of people actually live. Now, granted, these 40 cases are in a semi-rural area right outside the DRC.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's so close and it's very easily transmutable and transferable, that the World Health Organization is fixing to go ahead and be like, okay, well, now it's starting to move into a heavily populated area.
Now we need to be concerned.
We need to be extremely concerned, even though we were concerned before, with how lethal this is. But it's to the point where the threat level may need to be bumped up. So they're like, okay, we need to really get on top of this and start, allocating more resources, from an already strained department, to go ahead and combat this. Because it's huge. This is a really, really, really bad thing.
I mean, we're talking about a disease that you've got sweat on your head right now, okay?
If he were to touch that, now he's infected.
If he had Ebola with what I just did, now I have it. That's how fast it transfers. And we're not joking.
If I were to do this, now he's infected.
Yeah, because some of the saliva, when he coughed, it did not land on his hand. It continued to go outward, and it hit me. Okay, so so when you get into a major population center, when you're not sure how many of these people are infected, the chances become astronomical of people getting this. And then if somebody gets it right before they say they board a plane and go to another country, the problem is if they get sick in flight, everybody on the plane gets sick, or at least, well, not everybody on the plane. Let me correct myself, because they do actually have filters in the air system.
They do have filters in the air system.
But people in his general vicinity stand a damn good chance of catching it. Their symptoms probably will not start until they're off the plane around other people. But there is a way to stop Ebola.
Yeah.
We do have vaccines for Ebola.
Yeah.
So we don't need to be panicking about this, because you just need to research what are the symptoms, and right now we don't have that problem in the United States.
Correct.
So it's not something you have to worry about. Now, if one of those idiots comes over here, like what we had the last time,
then we have an issue.
Then we have an issue, because pretty much everywhere in the United States is a population area.
Now, just so that you can go ahead and have context about how serious this thing is, if you go ahead and take a look, you'll see that everybody's in full hazmat gear. On top of that, there's somebody that actually has a sanitation agent on their back to go ahead and spray every single surface as they are carrying that body that has been infected with Ebola.
Yes, this is how serious this situation is. Plus, you see the vehicles that they have in the shot? Okay, when they go to leave to return back to whatever facility they have these vehicles, those vehicles will get severely sprayed down.
Not only that, but they will also be torn apart and scrubbed every single inch.
Absolutely. So, I mean, this is something that we don't screw around with. Okay, Ebola is a very deadly, very rapid moving virus. Okay, so it's not something that we screw around with.
No.
And if we suddenly had a outbreak in a population center in the United States of America, okay, let me tell you that we would react fast, but you would see martial law on a large city happen, because if it gets out of there,
we're fucked.
We're screwed. However, like I said, they have vaccines.
Yes.
Okay, or well, not vaccines. They have cures. You can't go down to your local, hospital and get an Ebola vaccination.
Yeah, no.
Okay, you have to have it in order for them to get rid of it.
Yes.
Okay, because every time the strain moves areas, it will mutate. It will change. So they have to get it, identify it,
and then modify.
And then they modify and create a vaccine, which doesn't take long.
No.
Because they've dealt with Ebola enough times that they're actually pretty fast about it.
And the CDC actually has in storage multiple strains of the Ebola virus.
Yes.
So they can go ahead and be like, okay, well, it most fits, this strain. So let's go ahead and start branching off and see what we can do with that.
Ebola is not the new Black Plague. Ebola has been around just as long as the Black Plague was.
Yes.
I mean, Ebola has been around ever since there was living creatures on this earth.
Yes.
So it's not new. I mean, it may be new. It's not in the modern era. You don't hear a lot of conversation about it because we, for the most part, have a handle on it. You don't see millions of people dying because of Ebola.
Yes.
But when it does rear its ugly head into a population center,
then it gets really bad.
Then it becomes bad, and then it becomes a topic of discussion, and everybody starts panicking, and preppers start buying everything, and next thing you know, preppers becomes a big show on TV again. And then when Ebola goes away, nobody's paying attention to Prepper Show anymore, and then it disappears.
Correct. All right, so moving on.
No, swine flu and Ebola, two totally different things.
Huge
difference. Huge difference. But I get where you're trying to make the reference point, but there is a huge difference between the two.
Yes.
So.
All right, so now moving on to our next topic, which actually goes into our next segment of the show.
Yes.
Weird news.
News that probably didn't make the forefront of CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. And most of the time, if everybody was still only getting their news from the newspaper, would probably find itself somewhere on about page 5 or 6.
Somewhere.
All right, but it's interesting enough that we felt like we wanted to talk about it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, getting into this next story.
I will say that after yesterday, I'm going to hell.
And then we're going to drive the fucking bus to hell.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and show you this photo, okay?
Now, you're looking at this photograph and you're wondering what the hell is this all about, because you probably did not see this. All right, because of the shooting in Texas and because of the royal wedding and everything else, this probably got bypassed on your local news.
This also happened yesterday.
This happened yesterday and happened about the same time. And
this is at Parkland Elementary School in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, it's not to be confused with the high school in Parkland, Florida.
Yeah, Marjorie Stoneman.
Yes. Okay, so, because somebody had made a comment about that on one of these pictures. They said, is Parkland, man, that school can't catch a break. And I'm like, no. Marjorie Stoneman was the name of the school. This was actually Parkland School. But I immediately saw this, and I couldn't help myself. I was like, I saw that, and it was like, oh, ammo can dumped through a roof in a school in Texas. I'm like, how connected was this kid that the Army was doing ammo drops? And then I looked at it and go, yeah, just like the Army, they delivered the wrong ammo.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all jokes aside, though, I mean, that was just the first thought that came to my mind when I saw that.
Yeah, so apparently what's happening now... So what's happening now is that Colonel Ray Stevens, who was the commander of the first...
Not to be confused with the country singer that's the comedian.
Yeah. So Colonel Ray Stevens from 1st Armored Brigade Combat Air 1st Armored Division Combat Air Brigade went ahead, made a statement to the school saying, "We are very sorry. We did not mean for this to happen.
Damn right, you're sorry."
But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and start changing the flight plans of our helicopters.
I'm pretty sure there is a helicopter crew right now that is going to make some floors look very, very fucking shiny in a command building right now. I will guarantee they ain't gonna see some flight time for a while, because who the fuck is flying down the way with the doors open and not have the shit in the back compartments secured? They have boxes that you have to put this shit in, and you put lids over them.
Yes.
Okay, or even if it's the one that's an open box, it still has a strap section that goes through the can and gets locked down, so that in case, even if the helicopter flips over, shit doesn't come out of it like you're opening up a can and dumping it onto a plate.
Correct.
What did they do? Just like, just throw the shit in, it'll make it on the way over. I mean, come on.
I mean, I've known crews to do that, but...
So have I.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Army Corps of Engineers will be arriving at that school at some point here in the near future to replace the roof. Because they are heavy ammo cans. However, the fact that it went through the roof to the floor and, broke some floor tiling tells me that there wasn't a whole lot to the roof that it just went through.
Yeah, no.
The roof should have pretty much stopped it. It would have done some damage to the roof, but no. Yeah, exactly. Imagine some kid getting hit with that thing. Man, all right, Johnny, come up to the board. I don't want to. Johnny, come up to the board. Goes up to the board.
Okay.
Wham! Struck with an 85-pound ammo can. And it's like, kid dies when hit with ammunition in school. Another school shooting. No, this time the Army decided to dump an ammo can on the school. We figured, well, all the schools were getting shot at. We figured we just were randomly dropping off care packages. I don't know.
This isn't Call of Duty, okay?
you turn a corner of the building. Hey, look, an ammo can! Yeah, it's like Fallout 4. I mean, but it's still. I mean, I luckily we can laugh about this because nobody was hurt in this situation. Okay, if somebody was hurt, we would not be making as much of a joke. When you finally get a kill streak to call an ammo drop, right? We make a joke of it because nobody's gotten hurt, but like in all seriousness, somebody could have gotten seriously.
I mean,
hurt.
just like what happened with Titus O'Neil in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Running down to the ring, everybody made a joke of it, but literally nobody knows that Titus O'Neil was literally an inch and a half away from either being quadriplegic or dead. Yes. When he tripped up and slid under the ring.
It was an inch and a half between everybody having a good laugh to we are sorry for your loss.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the difference in distance. So I mean, we make a joke about it. Titus O'Neil, wrestler, WWE, was greatest Royal Rumble ever
in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he came running down to the ring because it was his turn to go into the Royal Rumble. And he got tripped up where the ramp flattened out, and when he did, he went head first, slid right underneath the ring. But literally, when you look at the replay where his head was when he broke the apron to go under the ring, he was literally an inch and a half away from that. There's a steel beam that runs outside of the ring, and that's where they attach the springs and everything that works to where the wrestlers actually wrestle on. And he was literally an inch and a half away from being straight head, neck, back, all in a perfect line impact. And if you do that, you are going to break something in that line. We are not Rams. We don't headbutt each other, everything in a straight line, because our backs, our neck, our head is not designed to take an impact at that level.
No, it's not.
No matter how strong you are. But when we joke about this now, but nobody got hurt. Somebody could have been. There could have been a kid underneath where that can came through and literally could either be seriously jacked up or dead. But it's still kind of hilarious that you can't secure an ammo can. And the bad part about it is this is an infantry unit. And did you notice the can? Those were live heads on those rounds.
They were live 7.62s.
So where in the hell were they coming from that they flew over a school with live rounds on board?
Well,
I would like to know what the flight path to the range is, because they had to leave the base, Because this is a civilian school. It's not a military school.
Correct.
It's not a school on the base. And so they're flying outside of the base with live rounds on board in the United States of America.
Yeah.
I mean, were they going to the border? Were they coming back from the border? Are they part of that whole deal with down at the border? I thought that was all.
I think so.
I thought that was all National Guard and Reserves. This wasn't National Guard. This was the 1st Infantry.
No, first Armored Combat Air Brigade.
Yeah.
So my guess is if they weren't providing aerial support for them, then they were probably coming back from a range deployment.
I don't know.
They're probably doing their door gunner quals.
Yeah, but if the range is on the base, they don't have to leave the base to get to the range. Because every base I've been on for door gunner qualling, the range for the helicopters, they take a flight path on the base because they have live rounds on board. They don't leave the base when they have live rounds on board.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering. The only time you'll see military helicopters flying over civilian areas with live rounds on board is when the President of the United States is moving. Well, otherwise they don't transport those things with live ammo on board.
Well, my guess is they were probably doing aerial support for the border.
They very well could have been, because I know there's a bunch of Blackhawks down at the border and everything else now.
Yeah.
So that very well, because this is El Paso.
Yes. Where
it was out of. So
and there aren't a lot of reserve units that are combat air.
There are some, I believe.
Some, but not a lot.
More than most people would realize.
Yeah.
But still. I mean, just chalk it up as there's a couple people that are getting a serious fucking reprimand.
Yes.
I don't necessarily know if they're going to get AR-15s out of the deal. I don't think they not AR-15s, sorry. Article 15s out of the deal, but I do believe that there's going to be some shit's going to hit the fan and somebody's going to pay some. They're going to lose. They're going to pay some time.
Absolutely.
There's, like I said, there's going to be a floor in a command building somewhere. It's going to be the shiniest it's ever fucking been.
Yes.
Hey Timmy, what did you do today? I got an ammo drop in my class.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like I said, it just fucking army.
So moving on to our next story, we're going to go ahead and show you this photo, and I think it's pretty amazing. So you go ahead and see this man right here. This man.
That man, that's a golfer right there.
His name is Ben Bender. He is 93 years old from Ohio.
And why in the world are we talking about a 93-year-old guy from Ohio?
Well, I'll tell you the reason why, Cotton. He did a very bold move. So this man, it was a few weeks ago. He went to the golf course. He goes, you know what? I've been golfing for almost 70 years. Mm-hmm. He's 93. He's been golfing since he was 28. He goes, you know what? Because of my failing health and I'm hurting a lot, this is going to be my very last round of golf. It just so happens that he goes up to, I believe it was the 4th hole of the course, 153 yards, par 3.
Takes a shot at it with a 5-wood, which I wouldn't do. But then again, I'm not 93. A 5-wood, I will put it past the hole.
Well, turns out that with that 5-wood at 153 yards, he sunk his very first hole-in-one. He aced that hole at 93 years old.
Good for you. I've yet to get a hole-in-one on a par 3.
And
I've gotten close. I've hit the flagpole a couple times, but I've never gotten a drop.
But he got that drop. He stuck it. And that was the very first one they had in almost 70 years of golfing. He played a couple more holes until, his hips started hurting and, his whole body started hurting.
I know. I played golf one time. I was by myself, and there was these two 90-year-old guys. They were like, hey, well, just ride with us. And so I went with them, and they were really cool about it. And, and then we got to, I think we made it about the 6th hole before I had ended up embarking off on my own again because they started hurting. They're like, that's all we did. We play until we hurt.
Yeah.
It's just fine. If I'm 90 years old and I can still get out on a goddamn golf course, I'll go out there until I can't keep going.
Yeah. So after, he had to go ahead and call it quits, he went to the clubhouse, had a few brews, and goes, you know what? The Lord knew this is my last round, so he wanted to make it a good one.
Yep. And he retired from golfing at the age of 93. And you know what? If you go 70 years, never get a hole-in-one, and then you finally do it and you're 93, how do you top that?
You can't.
Because you're not getting a hole-in-one on a par 4. It's possible. It can be done, but it's even hard for young people to. It's almost impossible for even young people. So how do you? Where do you go from there? The only best thing you do is get a hole-in-one and a blowjob like instantly. I mean, but from the beer cart girl. But I mean, there's no way to top that.
Well, this man had golf so much he actually whittled down his handicap to 3.
Goddamn, that's impressive. Mine's still in double digits.
Yeah, so
I think I'm shooting with a 12 handicap right now. I think the last time I did my average.
So this 93-year-old Ohio man is a legend of his own, and you know what?
Okay, I'll explain that in a second.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what a handicap is okay. So it takes you. All right, your average course is a 72 or 73 for a par. That means if you do everything by the minimum amount of shots that they say it should take you, I'm getting ready to explain that. Give me a second. All right, so what it means is the course is designated should take you no more than 72 or 73 hits on the ball to go through from tee to cup the whole way through all 18 holes. And most of your courses on average are 72, 73. Okay, that's your average. Okay, so you have 18 holes, and what it is when you tee off, okay, it's how many strokes it took you to go from the very first tee box at on the first tee all the way to the cup on the 18th hole. You have 18 different holes that you're shooting at. Okay, it should take you no more than 72 or 73 strokes, which is you swinging the golf club and hitting the ball. You should only have to hit the ball 72 or 73 times to complete the course. Okay, my handicap is 12 because on average I will finish plus 12 of the amount of strokes. So I will finish on average with an 84, between an 84 to a 90 is my average amount of strokes on an 18-hole golf course, which is actually not bad. It's not horrible. But a lot of guys that I go golfing with, or did go golfing with, their handicaps are in the single digits. They're in like 9, 8. Mine is 12. So I don't usually win much.
I have a handicap because I don't golf.
I don't win. I've never won a round of golf with anybody I've ever golfed with. I lose every time. I'm not there to win. I am there just to kind of relax and have a good freaking day. Anyone ever had a 0? Yeah, it's called pro golfers. If you have a 0 on an 18-hole golf course that has a mixture of par 3, par 4s, and par 5s, then your ass needs to be playing professional golf.
Arnold Palmer.
You need to be getting paid for it. Because handicap of 0, you can't have a negative handicap. So anybody that's playing the PGA like Tiger Woods and those guys, they don't have handicaps. They don't even play golf with a handicap. They go out to the course regardless, and they've got to do it in under. So if you have a 0, then you should be getting paid to play golf.
So par is how many strokes it takes from tee box to the cup.
Yep. So if you're on a par 3, which is a short hole, from tee box to in the cup, from the moment you touch the ball with the club, it should take you no more than 3 times of hitting the ball to get it to drop in the cup. What if you get like a home one every time? Not possible.
No.
If you're playing a course that is strictly par 3s, then theoretically it's possible. They have courses out there that are only par 3 courses, but you're not going to be playing for money. You're not going to be earning a living playing golf.
No.
Because a par 4 is not possible, because you're talking about 400, you're talking about 300 and change yards all the way up to 500, and then a par 5 is anything over, I think, like 510 or something like that. And you can't hit a ball, no matter how damn good you are, you're not going to hit a golf ball 500 plus yards, or almost 600 yards.
Yeah. No.
It's not going to happen. You could fire that bitch out of a gun, you're not going to get it to travel that far.
No.
Let's just say you did, then what? You would be the luckiest golfer that ever fucking lived. You would have, in order for you to be the greatest golfer that ever lived, you'd have to do it every single time. But if you just by some weird way manage to get a hole-in-one on all 18 courses, on all 18 holes, fuck, I would be at a driving range right now hustling people out of money.
You would also be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, because it's never been done. I don't think it's ever been done. It could be done on what's called a par 3 course, where all 18 holes are all par 3s. But even that's like very extremely unlikely because the way they have some of the courses designed, there's no way to take a straight shot at the hole. It has a curve in the hole, and then plus a par 3 could be a little bit out of your normal swing range anyway.
On top of that, you're also looking at differences in weather and wind
There's so many variables involved. It's theoretically it's impossible even on a complete par 3 course to get an eagle every single fucking time. And when I say eagle, that's a hole in one. Okay.
No, ace is hole.
Or ace. You get an ace every single time is impossible. Eagle is what, 2 strokes?
Eagle is 2, birdie is 1,
yeah.
And then par is on par.
Yeah. Double birdie is if you're on a par 5 and you do it in 4, I think. Yeah, because birdie's 3, 4 is a double birdie if you finish 1 under on a par 5.
No. Birdie is 1 under par.
Yeah.
Eagle is 2 under par. And then double birdie is 3 under par.
Okay, so there you go. So it's it's not possible. It's not possible.
No, there is no double birdie. You're thinking about double bogey.
Oh well, yeah.
Double bogey is.
No, I was thinking if you made a par 5 and 3, because that's been done.
That's eagle.
Is that still an eagle?
Yeah, because it's 2 under.
Well, no, 2 strokes to end of the hole is an eagle. 3 strokes on a par 5 was still being 2 under.
That's eagle.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because you're 2 strokes under.
He doesn't play golf.
But I know that.
We play mini golf though.
We do.
We're
actually looking at starting mini golf.
And the other reason why he's up to term on golf terms though is because he plays the golf course game I have on my PlayStation 4. So that guy, the narrator, will tell you everything.
Per.
But yeah. So there you go. It's just theoretically it's impossible. It's one of those things that if it did actually happen, that shit'll be on the news.
Yeah.
And if I were you, if you did that, I would be hustling people out of money at a driving range.
So, moving on to our next story.
All right. Yes, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, so apparently we're going to go ahead and bring this up. 25-year-old Sydney Gilstrap Portley.
By the way, special credit going out to the
CBS Dallas-Fort Worth.
Channel 11 for the graphic. Thank you very much.
Yes. So apparently, 25-year-old Sydney Gilstrap Portley went ahead, posed as a 17-year-old student, not only at Skyline High School, but then transferred over to Hillcrest High School, where he posed as a Hurricane Harvey victim that was displaced, and using the Hurricane Harvey open enrollment clause that Dallas Independent School District used, where any student who was displaced by Hurricane Harvey could enroll openly.
Yes.
Without having any documentation, because documentation could have been lost during the hurricane. He went ahead and enrolled just that way he can play on the basketball team.
25-year-old guy back in high school.
Yeah.
Last time that happened, they did a TV show. It was called 21 Jump Street. Some of y'all have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Johnny Depp.
Yes. One of these days, I want to look that up and see if anybody plays that has that series, the original, not the new one, the original.
Hulu has it.
Hulu does have it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think it turned Hulu back on.
Yes. So, this guy, it just...
Okay, I give the guy props for pulling it off. I mean, shit. If you're 25 and you still could pass for a high school student, what the hell? Then I guess, but what else he did though that was not okay?
Yeah, well, the thing is, with this guy, it was also stated that he was dating a 14-year-old student at school when he was posing as a 17-year-old.
Which that's wrong.
It is. But apparently this guy also had...
of course, and again, me saying that is calling the pot calling the kettle black.
So this guy also had...
I was a senior in high school and I dated a freshman.
So this guy also had a collegiate athletic record where he actually played basketball for the Dallas Christian College. You know...
I guess it's alright because he did it in Jesus' name, I guess.
Oh, God. But apparently it was after he was playing the 2017 season of his college basketball, undrafted into the NBA. And then after that, I guess that's when he went ahead and said, hey, well, you know, Dallas is doing this. I want to relive my athletic glory, my basketball glory. And ended up being a forward on the team over at Hillcrest High. And, you know, would sink like 30 points per game or more with like 15 rebounds and so on and so forth. So he was just, you know, athletic superstar at that school.
I gotta give that guy credit because even at the age of 25, if I could have posed for a high school student, I couldn't go back to high school and be better than I was at whatever sport I was playing. But,
you know, so he did get caught after 9 months of doing this. And now he is arrested for changing government documents. So pretty much
forging government documents.
Which is
falsifying identification. Pretty sure he's gonna get another charge since he was dating a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
They're gonna, of course, get him with indecency with a minor, and you know, a bunch of different stuff. I mean, this guy's going up the creek for a while just to play fucking basketball.
Yeah.
Hey, good news! Prison teams always looking for players. Just saying, may not be the kind of basketball you want to play, but you know, they're always looking.
Oh, yes.
You know, you were a power forward. Pretty sure you're going to be forward. You're just not going to be the one doing the powering. Just saying.
Yeah. So, moving on to our next story.
And then, because I really don't want to dwell on this one. There's so many fucking sick jokes that could come out of that.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So, this next story takes us over to the lovely island of Manhattan.
And here's the thing with this one. I could see if me and you ever won just a stupidly large lottery.
This would be awesome.
Doing this.
Yes.
Mainly because of one of the perks that comes with it.
Yes. So apparently in Manhattan, there is a 10-bedroom, 11-bathroom apartment on sale for, what's the magic number?
$85 million.
So this apartment is on sale for $85 million.
Now, folks, you're thinking that's asinine to buy a 10-bedroom apartment for $85 million.
But it comes with several amenities.
It does.
So, we're going to go ahead and let you see this apartment real quick.
And by the way, one of the amenities is in this photograph.
And no, we're not talking about the couch.
No, although the couch does look very uncomfortable, and I'd probably replace it immediately.
I mean, unless, of course, it's that couch from Backroom Castle.
Are you sure this isn't the lobby to the building this place is in?
No, you can tell that
Dude,
it's
that
a
looks like a
penthouse.
fucking lobby.
You can tell it's the penthouse.
Dude, that looks like a lobby.
It's not a
And
lobby.
this sucky view, there's a building under construction out your front window.
No.
Holy crap, dude. What the fuck? That's bad. $85 million. I want to see like the rest of the world. I don't want to see that shit. Hey, put that back up. We didn't explain what the plane was all about. Okay, we were commenting on the shitty furniture they put in.
But of course you can change all that when you buy it.
$85 fucking million, and this is the furniture. Yeah. Okay, we're getting to that. Okay, and what is that? 2 fireplaces we've got here, not one.
But 2?
I'm not sure. Is that supposed to be where your secretary sits down there at the other end? And you're staring at other fucking buildings? The view is shit.
It is.
$85 million, don't change it.
I'm not changing it yet.
Okay, $85 million, you could get a fucking nice-ass fucking ranch with all kinds of fucking views and not look at other... Because it would be my luck when they finish that building outside that window, I would be sitting there on my couch and porn would be playing and somebody in that office would find out about porn, me watching porn, and it would just, I would have to put blinds on all that shit because I like to walk around in the nude, and if I'm gonna have $85 million, I'll probably be walking around butt naked in that place, and the people that are at work would not like it. But why does it cost $85 million? Well, the perks. So go through the perks. Save the plane for last.
Yeah. So the amenities include 2 Rolls-Royce Phantoms,
which are very high end.
A Lamborghini,
very high end.
A mansion in the Hamptons for the summer.
Only for the summer, though. You can't use it during the winter.
No, only on the summers.
What is it, like a timeshare?
I guess so.
$85 million, and you can't get out of timeshares.
But for like a full 2 or 3 months in the Hamptons, you know, and that's really fucking ritzy.
Yeah, I'd probably never go.
Yeah. To also include a personal live-in butler.
As long as I could name him Alfred, I'd be all right. Because you know at some point I'm going to run around acting like Batman.
A personal chef.
Okay, well, you're hired.
Yeah. And, of course, the reason why that this plane is in the corner of the scene, that is actually not just a fucking plane.
That is not a, hey, let's go to France for the weekend.
That is the Virgin Atlantic space jet.
That is, hey, things look cool on the moon today. Let's go.
So, the amenities also include 2 seats on the Virgin Atlantic space jet.
Yes, there you go. So you can come fly with me, come fly away, to fly me to the moon, you know.
Yeah. Yes, you get your own fucking staff.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You buy a house for $85 million, you get your own fucking staff? Yes. Yeah. If you're buying a 10-bedroom fucking condo in Manhattan, you're probably going to have a couple people working for you.
Yes.
You know, at that point, if you're sinking $85 million into a condo, you have somebody upkeeping the place for you because you're obviously not going to be there 365 days a year.
Yeah, no.
So somebody's going to have to be there.
Oh, yeah.
To take care of the place. And you know you're not going to... Do I still have to pay them?
No.
Well, no. It's how long did it say that the cost of $85 million pays her salary as long as you live there?
Yes.
Well, shit. They better hope that a 20-year-old doesn't get a hold of this,
right?
Because they could be that salary could go quick. Because having a butler at that level, they're not making minimum wage.
No.
They make more than I do.
Oh yeah.
You know, I pull a decent amount of money a year. That butler still makes more than I do. Just saying. And a chef for a place like that, he was working at IHOP chef.
No, actually, the personal chef that you'll be having, actually owns the restaurant that is at the base of the building.
What the fuck? Why would you even have a kitchen at that point? If you buy an $85 million fucking condo in that building, you should be able to go eat down to that restaurant and 3 meals a day for fucking free.
You are able to.
Okay, well then what the fuck do you need a kitchen for at that point? Hey, look, we're all going to have dinner. Oh, what are you cooking? I ain't cooking shit. We're getting the elevator.
Yeah, but also, you know, like if you have dinner parties and so on and so forth, and that personal chef will actually come up and cater it.
It's not really catering. It's room service.
Yeah, pretty much.
Catering is like at another location. They come out with a truck.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not catering. That's what catering is. That they put shit on a cart and bring it up the elevator.
Yeah.
That's room service. They call it that in hotels.
Yeah, that's true.
So there you go. So yeah, so if you get $85 million, people, you can get yourself not only a 10-bedroom condo in Manhattan, but a seat with you and a buddy to fly to space.
Yes.
Did they say when the space flight is happening?
No.
Oh. I'll probably die before it happens. Not to mention the fact, in order to fly into space, you have to pass a physical. Because it's not exactly like you could just one day be a fat guy and go, hey, let's go to outer space. Well, it doesn't quite work that way.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's a commercial liner.
But you still have to incur some G-forces in order to get enough oomph to get out of the atmosphere.
Well, it's not that... Okay, so... As far as I know, with Richard Branson's, space jet and everything like that.
I know. The plan is to go around, you fly in a circle until you spiral yourself up and out of the atmosphere instead of going straight up and out.
Yeah. but you're not going, past the atmosphere. You're still in the toposphere.
I hate the idea that that's space. I want to be outside. I want to be where the fucking satellites are.
Yeah. Well,
I want to drive. I want to hit the drive-through window at the International Space Station. Okay, like, hey, yeah, I'll take a burger and fries. I want to be out there. I don't. To me, oh look, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I got to go into the upper stratosphere, I'd still be fucking happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking pictures going to all my flat earther friends. It's round, bitches. I'm taking a selfie in the window going, it's round, bitches. But still, I when you say space, to me, space is you are outside of the atmosphere. You are in an orbit around the planet, not you are still technically in the atmosphere of the planet. Yamish, if you would make it to the moon, you'd claim it for the Saracens. Don't lie. You goddamn right. I would put a Saracen flag on that bitch.
Space, the final frontier.
And then suddenly out of nowhere, you see him fly by, and there's a Saracen flag going, "Fucking Yamish." But yeah, no. I would want to actually be in space. I would like to unbuckle my seatbelt and fly around the cabin, because I know I'm going to vomit as soon as we get to gravity again. But I don't give a shit. I mean, when you're up there, you still feel gravity in the upper atmosphere. It's not great, but you still feel gravity. I want to be I want to go where John Glenn and them went, around the earth. That's where I want to go. I want to look, I want to be the asshat that goes up to the cabin and goes, "Houston, we have a problem." Just because.
So, moving on to our next story. This one was really fucking awesome, which actually has to do with several students in Wisconsin.
I give these guys some credit, because when I first looked at the picture, I was fooled by it too at first.
So apparently in Wisconsin, the senior class of this high school went ahead and decided to do their senior prank.
Show them the senior prank before we continue. Yeah.
So the senior prank actually ended up being a car that drove through the building of the fucking school.
That's a hell of a senior prank, to take a fucking Pontiac Grand Prix and drive that bitch into the school.
But if you take a very, very close look, it actually isn't real.
No. Alright, so we break down the photo for you, so that way you guys don't think that somebody legitimately drove a Pontiac into the school.
So what ended up happening is these senior students decided to go ahead and get a couple of items. First, they went ahead and bought a junk car.
That car didn't operate.
Then they went ahead and bought some bricks. Then they also bought a black tarp and duct tape.
And at first, when I first looked at this scene, I thought, holy shit, somebody drove a car into a fucking building.
Which is exactly what the school staff thought as well.
So they went ahead and called law enforcement, thinking somebody drove a fucking car into the school.
So law enforcement went ahead, did their investigation, and realized, holy shit, this is an illusion.
That is the black tarp up against the brick wall that the car is facing. They cut the front part of the car off in order to, and then laid the bricks about, making it look like it smashed into the brick wall. At first, when I first saw this photograph, I thought legitimately somebody drove a car into school. And then as soon as he told me about the black tarp, I looked at it again and go, yeah, there is fucking duct tape holding that bitch together. Holy shit. Damn good job. And I will give props to the cameraman who took that photograph, because at first initial glance at that photo, you're like, shit, somebody drove a fucking car into a building.
So the police department went ahead and gave the senior class a lot of praise. Granted, the school staff was not happy whatsoever.
No, but it's a senior prank.
Senior prank.
And think about it. Every senior class after this one, how do you follow that?
You can't.
Like toilet papering your history teacher's tree. Oops. I think I just gave something away. It doesn't even come close to that.
I mean, granted, my senior class, we did the whole goat trick where we had 3 goats and we number them 1, 2, and 4.
Put a mannequin on the flagpole and say someone was killed. Okay, that's
a little fucked up.
But I give them credit, man. That was fucking amazing.
It was really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and move into our final story of the
Thank
night.
God, because I got to go to the bathroom.
So we're going to go ahead and show you this picture. This cute little rooster named Peo.
That cute little adorable.
Well, Peo has earned the nickname El Terrorista, which means the terrorist. You're probably wondering why this cute little rooster is named the terrorist.
Look at that evil look in his eye.
Yeah.
The cluck cluck jihad.
Well, it turns out that this rooster was actually saved and rescued from a Santeria ritual in Florida.
Please explain to me what a Santeria ritual is.
So Santeria is primarily from Cuba.
You know that whole song, that one song that pops out and they go,
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball.
Okay.
That one. So Santeria is a religion that primarily, originates in, Central America.
This is the one that's kind of like the Central American or the Spanish version of voodoo.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly what it
or
is.
Latin version of voodoo.
Yes, the Latin version of voodoo.
Okay.
So go do that voodoo that you do. Anyways.
I know.
Yes.
I'm just not going to play into it.
So.
Voodoo? You do. Who does?
So they were going to go ahead, the Santo was going to go ahead and sacrifice the rooster, which is part of the ritual, for that religion. Well, these people went ahead and rescued the rooster named Peo. Went ahead, released it in their backyard, and so on and so forth. Everything was going fine.
Yeah, now he's become a free-range rooster.
Well, next thing you know, they're seeing people running down the street yelling and screaming in fear.
Run away! Run
And they
away!
look down and they see Peo chasing them.
Yes.
Not to mention, Peo has also been seen biting people, scratching people, jumping on the backs of dogs and pecking at them and scratching them, actually scratching gouges into them.
Mean bird.
Yeah, completely evil. So
It's a yard bird that comes with an attitude.
worse than foghorn leghorn.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll get back here, you hear?
So Peo the terrorist is now looking for a new home. And the family said they're looking for a new foster home to go ahead and take Peo before the Florida Chicken Buster Squad comes in to go ahead and bust them.
Mike is saying is that maybe they were actually exercising the damn thing, and it wasn't,
it could
it
have
wasn't
been.
a Santeria
Could have been
deal.
exorcism.
The demon is in that bird. The demon has got him. He's got him. We've got to exorcise the demons out of that bird.
Probably.
Amen.
But, excuse me, the Florida Chicken Buster Squad is an actual thing. They have already busted from January 1st, 2018 to today. Have already busted 11,000 illegal chickens in Florida.
Yes, if you thought the illegals we were having a problem with illegals at the border, Florida has a much bigger problem with illegal chickens.
Yes.
Essay.
So if you're looking for a very, very, very good guard rooster, Peo's the one for you.
Yeah, if you can convince him not to kill you, he will kill anybody else that comes on the property.
But the funniest thing is that there is an anti-Peo coalition that's going on that's requesting to go ahead and get rid of Peo, where they have actually been sending the family threats by sending them Coca Van recipes.
Oh, God.
If you don't know what Coca Van is, Coca Van translate from French to chicken and wine.
Yep.
Well, rooster and wine, because cock, rooster. Really, really, really delicious dish. I actually make it. It's really good. I should make it for you one of these days.
I still want to have alligator.
Yes. Alligator is good.
And rabbit.
Rabbit.
I've had rabbit.
Yes.
But I would like to have it again. And
It's
our
funny
grocery
because
store
the
sells
grocery
it.
store right down the street actually sells rabbit.
They do.
Yes.
So,
before we go ahead and end this show, right now, we are currently sitting at 85 subscribers.
we are. I just send a threat that says the colonel is coming. Right. Yeah, so we're at 85 subscribers.
We need 15 more subscribers before we hit 100. Once we hit 100, then we go ahead and get our own personalized URL.
Yes.
And on top of that, we'll be doing giveaway for a brand new Toyota.
That's right. Brand new. We take care of it. We ship it to you. You ain't got to worry about taxes or anything else. We got all that covered for you. So
yes.
All we got to do is get to 100.
Yes. Now, don't forget, if you actually go ahead and look at the description of the video, you'll see a link to our Teespring thing.
Yes, which can get you can order a shirt just like the one we're wearing right now.
Our brand spanking new R&R Roger Rich Show T-shirts.
Yeah, well, they'll be brand new for you when you order them. They won't be used like the ones we're wearing.
And they're going for $20 a piece.
That's right. And the proceeds outside of what they charge us for making the shirt goes to the upkeep of this program. So if you like this program and want to continue it on, please, by all means, buy a shirt. Now, damn, how much are you guys making to do this stuff? We don't make a dime.
Nope.
To do the shirts, every dime that we get from the shirts is going into the upkeep of the equipment to run the show, and any money that we get outside of what costs to upkeep the show, we're donating that to charity. In fact, we're actually going to be donating it to helping and save abused children.
Yes. Because there are several, domestic abuse facilities that are here for women and children who are running away and escaping from domestic abuse.
Yes.
And a lot of these facilities, they only run on donations and charities itself. So
show them what's on the shirt.
So if you look, we go ahead have right here on the chest, R&R The Raj and Rich Show.
Right, there you go.
And then right here on the back, we have my famous slogan, beat your kids, save a life.
Right. Now, of course, if you wear this shirt, people are going to ask you questions because they ask us when we wear ours. We are not by any means with this shirt advocating for abuse.
No.
Okay? We are simply advocating that discipline is the reason why we're having a lot of problems in this country, because there's a lack of it.
We are advocates for healthy discipline in the household.
Yes. I can see it now, like in 14 years, new Channel 3 talk show, The Raj and Rich Show. I'm for this.
Yes.
Except we can't use profanity.
No, but also if I'm still around.
You will be. So there you go. But yeah, no. So please, like I said, if you like the show, go to Teespring and click on that. Order yourself a shirt. You can get it in a multitude of different colors. We do recommend the black shirt, but if you like blue, gray, red, green, you can get any color you want. You go all the way from extra small all the way to 5X or 4X?
Yes, 5X.
5X. So it's available in a multitude of different sizes, a multiple of different colors.
And they're $20.
And they're $20. And like I said, part of that $20 goes to the company that makes the shirt. The other part of that goes to us, so that way we can keep this show running for you.
Yes.
So, and that's the only way, because we don't have sponsors. Okay,
no,
we don't have companies. Why is a sponsor? If you notice, you can watch this show without
any ads,
without any ads or anything like that.
The only way that we'll actually get money from sponsors and everything like that for showing their ads and everything is if we have 1,000 subscribers or more.
Once we cross over 1,000, then they'll start. You put advertisement on our show, and then when they do that, then we actually get paid for it. But right now we don't have that, so we're not getting any money whatsoever doing the show.
No.
We should develop a logo. We're already working on that.
Yes, we are.
We are already looking at it. Right now, it's just the R and symbol and R. But we are actually working on coming up with an actual logo that's going to incorporate both R's into it. So be looking for that at some point when we do actually get a logo. Then maybe we'll have cool stuff like coffee mugs or something that
beer koozies
you can
and
order
all that stuff.
We'll sell the shit out of ourselves. We have no pride. We'll put it anywhere. We'll give you a little circle bumper sticker.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. If we could put a logo on it, make a dime off of it, to keep the show running. And so you guys should look at MCM Lion, except with tuned versions of your faces.
Nobody wants to see this mug.
Nobody wants to see, even in a caricature, it still doesn't. This doesn't look good.
Well, yours would look better than mine.
No,
I don't just
no. The only way you're going to see my face have any value anywhere on something is somebody brands it in like the ass end of a horse, you know. But at that point, it's probably me branding it into the horse because I have a ranch.
Yeah.
And that's only going to happen if I win the lottery.
Yeah. So go ahead and share us with all your friends. Go ahead and buy some T-shirts. Spread the news, spread the wealth, spread everything about us.
Just don't, be careful what you do spread, though. Some people may not be appreciative of you spreading something. Yeah. But when it comes to the show, please, by all means, tell everybody.
So before we go ahead and drag this any longer than it needs to, because we do have to wake up early since we are going to go see Deadpool 2 at 10 a.m.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be great, and we will not give you any spoilers, just like how we have not given any spoilers about Avengers Infinity War.
Even though if you are on Facebook longer than 5 minutes, you'll see all kinds of fucking spoilers.
Yeah, but we're not those type of people.
No, we're not going to do it.
But I'm not even on Facebook, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Before we go ahead and end the show, though, I do want to get this one off my chest. 2 weeks ago when we did a show, it was a relatively rough day for me. I did not sleep well at all and was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. For some reason, couldn't go back to bed. Did the whole day, worked all day, and then we did our show. About an hour and 20 minutes into the show, I started nodding off during the show. I apologize to everybody who takes the time to watch our show and participate with our show and enjoy our show, that I couldn't stay awake during the program. And it was unprofessional of me, and I do apologize to all of our fans and our subscribers out there that tune in for our show and be entertained, and I couldn't even keep my ass awake for it. So I do apologize to everybody out there for that.
Very well said.
Thank you.
All right, so on behalf of the Raj and Rich Show, I'm Raj.
I'm Rich.
And we're out.
See ya.